kid with an ant farm. He's not planning it.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Ideas are brick. Be my victim.
Hello and welcome to the Victim Matrix podcast. We're your hosts, Vera, pronouns are she, her.
Raven, they, them.
I Raven, I love it. Like I Robot.
Yeah, why not, right?
I am they, them.
Yeah, why not?
I'm excited to talk about creepypastas today.
I am too, I mean,
it's a creepy, fun episode.
Yep.
I get right up on the mic to say that.
Oh yeah, it should be when we're reading one of the stories. It should be like that.
Yeah, we'll get really intimate with the microphone and we'll make sure to stroke it a little bit.
No, don't do that.
Okay, chill out, Mike.
Yeah.
I would like to apologize in advance for Christine in the background.
Yeah.
She's having a bad day.
I don't know if everybody listening would know about that movie though. We looked it up. What was the 1980 something?
Oh,
The
it was
killer
an 83
car?
movie. Killer car. Killer red car.
Yeah,
Go
it's a killer
figure.
red car. We have a
But for some
car
reason-
outside that's red. That's going off like crazy, and we can't figure it out. Either Vera, you were saying you think it's a kid doing it, but I think the car's haunted because we're about to talk about creepypasta.
I mean, I like where your head's at. I'm excited because, we're about to talk about creepypastas and we got some creepy shit going on outside while we're doing this episode.
Yeah.
So it's very fitting.
Oh,
but
very.
yeah, if you listen very closely, I'm sure you can hear the car honking its horn.
It's just so sporadic too.
It'll do it like that, and then it'll stop.
And then
it'll-
go once, and then another once, and then me.
It's at very weird increments, which
Yeah.
to me sounds like a kid just pressing buttons.
How is the kid not being watched though? Why does the kid steal the parents' car keys? And that's bad parenting.
That car is gonna end up getting towed. Can you imagine being a tow truck driver at this
Yeah.
time of night?
Oh yeah, they'd be pissed.
Yeah.
I'm surprised no one's complained yet. Like, fuck's going on outside?
I like I said, when I heard the car going off, my instincts were we smash the window because I've got one of those things in my car in
Yeah.
case for whatever reason we end up in the water.
Yeah.
Smash the window, put it into neutral,
Mm.
and just push it down the hill.
We have to wear masks just in case. We don't want to be accused of why the car is going off in the first place.
I'm not saying anything that's going to incriminate me because I'm not gonna do it. It's just a fun thought.
Yeah, definitely
Although,
a fun thought. It's quite obnoxious. It's going on. It's scaring our cat.
Oh yeah, very much so.
And annoying us. Yeah, she's still on the bed loafing. She's like, "Can you make it stop? It's really loud for me because I'm a cat and cats have really good hearing.
I've got really good hearing.
Humans, you know this. Can you make it stop?
My name is Lucid.
I have no control over the beeping. Make it stop."
Whichever one of you humans is doing that, please. I want a break.
My ears hurt. What's the first one up?
Well, should we tell them all three?
Oh,
That way
yeah,
they know
go
what to
for it.
expect?
Oh, definitely.
Alright, so you know what you clicked on. We're talking about 3 pop culture related creepypastas and victimmatrixpodcast@gmail.com if there's other creepypastas you want us to talk about. Honorable mentions today are Smile Dog. That was a big one. We wanted to do that
Such
one
a long
in this
story.
episode.
I thought it was short though, but I skimmed
it
it.
was
So maybe
shorter,
that's
too.
why. Yeah.
Even the overview is long.
Yeah, I must have clicked on the wrong link. That
got
gave me
that
a
one.
quick sum up of the whole thing.
Yeah, but it doesn't do it justice for a podcast setting
No.
to just read a brief summary. That's boring. Who wants that?
Exactly.
I was really interested in talking about Russian sleep experiment, but I think that one is like its own episode worthy because there's
Yeah.
so much that goes into it.
I agree.
Was there any other ones?
Ben Drowned. That's a really long story, but the video itself, anybody could just Google. If you're a Zelda fan, it's interesting.
It's a fun
I
one.
like it.
It fits the bill for pop culture.
I would play that if it was
creepypastas.
real.
I would
I'd
play
fuck
it too.
around with that.
How much you want to bet there's an emulator for it?
There probably is.
I bet you. You know what?
Whoever
We're gonna-
made it just to creep people out, they did a damn good job.
If you went through
It
all the
seems
effort of making
believable.
it, someone out there went through all the effort of making an emulator for it. I
Have to.
guarantee you it.
Yeah,
Guarantee you it.
I wonder. If anybody knows, let us know.
Now I have to go find an emulator, a good emulator.
That'd be really nice. Play a lot of old games. I miss that.
I used to
wanna do that.
I used to love doing that in class. But the 3 that we're talking about today are Squidward's Suicide. We're going to talk about that one first. Then Lavender Town Syndrome, and then we're going to close things up with the truth behind Suicide Mickey. And I think I'm very curious because I haven't proofread that at all. I want to know what the truth is, and I hope it doesn't suck.
I hope not.
So stick around. Stick around to the end if you want to hear that one. I'm pretty excited about that. But
Same.
now, Lavender Town Syndrome. For those of you that don't know, this is a Pokemon themed creepypasta. It's one of my favorites. I wrote a song about it when I was back in the band Dead on Sight, because the guitarist of the band, Panda, he actually sent me the creepypasta and told me he wrote an instrumental for it, and I was like, I got so invested, and I just got really into the lyrics process. So this is a fun one, a special one for me. Okay, so Lavender Town is a town in the Pokemon Red and Green games. You can also play it in Pokemon Yellow, which was really fun because Pikachu would walk behind you, which was why I loved that game. That one was my favorite.
It just follow you from behind.
But in Silver, Gold, and Platinum, you can also go to Lavender Town because you have access to you have the Kanto region and the Johto region you can go to. So you can go to Lavender Town in all those games.
Nice.
It would be cool. You know what? Sidebar.
I've never played it. So.
I love the idea of a completely open world Pokemon game where you can travel all the major regions.
That would be nice.
That would be sick. But God, the amount of work that would have to go into that, I bet that would.
I prefer that to be all Zelda games in one.
There you go.
Even though others might fight me on that and be like, it's Breath of the Wild. No, that's a very different Zelda game compared to all the older ones.
The idea of it being more MMO, open world type style game where, there's no story mode. It's whatever you want it to be kind of thing,
both.
you know?
I like
do
story
both.
mode and what you're saying,
But I like
MMO.
the idea of like, okay, you pop into these towns, well, there's missions in these towns if you go here. And depending on what
you would
like
pick, Fallout games. Fallout 4, and just don't play 76. I heard you can't use Vast. I haven't played it yet. I have it on the PlayStation.
I don't even know what Vast is.
Oh, it's when
Deafened?
you zoom. No, it's when you go to aim at someone you're gonna kill, and Vast is zooming in on their body parts. I'll show you.
That
one.
sounds boring.
No, it's cool. No, it makes it. It's
No,
almost like
I'm
a
kidding.
cheat code.
I've seen. That's what I'm saying.
You've seen me play it.
If it feels like a cheat code, then why would I want to cheat? I want to play games the hard way.
I don't know. Vast is great. They've always had it in Fallout. Anyway, continue.
Anyway, Lavender Town. The Lavender Town Syndrome was a peak in suicides and illnesses of children between the ages of 7 and 12 in Japan back in February 27th, 1996. The phenomenon occurred shortly after the release of the first Pokemon games. Now, I feel like this isn't true. I feel like this is just, an urban legend.
I don't know. The sound, if no one
But it's very
that's
believable.
listening has heard the sound is obnoxious. It makes me want to bash my head into a wall, like hearing the car behind us.
Mm-hmm. I'll play the music at the end of
yeah.
at the end, and we'll talk over it.
Of course.
And it'll be fun.
Oh yeah.
But rumors say that these suicides and illnesses occurred only after children played the game and reached Lavender Town. The location's theme music had extremely high frequencies that studies have shown only children and young teens can hear, because their ears are more sensitive. Which makes me wonder, would animals like cats be susceptible to
I'm
this?
sure. Play it near my
Lucid, go away.
Yeah, play it near Lucid, even though she's traumatized at the moment by the beeping. Quick question though, not to interrupt, but maybe some people haven't heard about it. But why is it called Lavender Town in the game? I know it might be a sidebar, but why is it called Lavender? Is there a bunch of lavender flowers?
Sure.
Is it a color purple in the game? I've never played this, so I don't know. Oh, it does look lavender. Or is that gray?
Well,
oh, it is lavender.
It is lavendery. It
Little
has
ghosties
like a purple overtone to it.
Okay.
Due to this effect, at least 200 children supposedly committed suicide. Bullshit. And many more developed conditions and afflictions. The children who killed themselves usually did so by hanging or jumping from heights. Those who did not often acted irrationally and complained of severe headaches after listening to the theme.
Now, when they say kids, are they talking about someone that's like 6 and up?
Between 7 and 12.
What 7-year-old's trying to hang themselves, and how do they know how to make a noose? Come on, that is where it is bullshit.
The music drives you crazy.
No, I know,
That's
but
why
think
it's
about
my
it.
alarm sound.
Think about it. It's perfect.
Actually, truth
But
is,
what
it is.
6-year-old is gonna know how to hang themselves?
Fuck if I know.
Exactly.
This
That's
is
where it's
Japan
kind
we're
of
talking about. In Japan, when you're 6 years old, you're
Oh, you know
expected
how
to go
to-
grocery shopping by yourself,
Good
cook
point.
for yourself, run your entire
That
house.
makes sense,
If your
yeah.
parents are dead, you're expected to just live by yourself. No, I'm just
That's
kidding.
true. No, it's
No,
true.
I don't think it's true today.
Okay.
But
Good point.
anime makes it seem like that's a common thing. But
That is true.
the mass hysteria was first caused by the first released version of the game. After the incidents, the programmers fixed the location's music to be at a lower frequency. Lavender Town now sounds differently depending on which Pokemon you're playing, which Pokemon game you're
Wait, so
playing.
oh, okay. I was gonna say, what does it change with whatever Pokemon character you're carrying with you?
It just
No,
depends
makes
on which
sense.
Pokemon game you're playing. One video appeared in 2010. Wow, what the hell? One video appeared in 2010 using a special software to analyze the audio waves of Lavender Town's music. When played, the software created images of Unown, which is a Pokemon. It's the alphabet Pokemon.
Oh,
But
okay.
they didn't show up until the second generation games,
Okay.
which is, something of a discrepancy.
So someone edited to put that in there.
I do believe that the Unown were in the first Pokemon games. It's just they were like little Easter eggs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they're kind of associated with like the hierarchy of gods
Yeah.
in Pokemon lore.
Okay.
There's one movie in particular where I don't remember exactly which movie it is,
How
but
many movies did they make?
the Unowns are like a big part of the movie.
I can't even think of what they looked like. I only saw the
They
first
literally
movie.
just look like alphabet
Oh, I know what you're talking about
with
now.
eyes on them.
Oh, you've shown me this.
These little guys.
Those, okay. They're
Yeah.
adorable and silly.
Exactly.
That's cool.
The software created images of the Unown near the end of the audio. This created controversy since the Unown didn't appear in the series until Generation 2 games. The arrangement of the Unown letters to translate to leave now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Do they have proof? What's
No.
proof? What's evidence?
No. But for those of you who have waited only a couple seconds to hear it, this is the Lavender Town music. This is my jam right here. You ready for this?
I'm gonna plug my ears. Ah! Make it stop! Ah!
But that's enough of that. Or not. Oh,
No, let it play out for a few moments, because then you really prove why. And everybody give your thoughts on this. Wouldn't you lose your mind if you couldn't hit mute and you had to play this through because you love the game so much? I'd lose my mind. I wouldn't kill myself.
imagine
but I
your
would lose
volume
my
button
mind.
is stuck. Oh, I like
Exactly.
this part.
It would drive me mad and annoyed. I would be more aggravated. If I played this, I would be on edge. I would leave the room and someone goes to ask me to hand them, I don't know, like, the curtain. I don't know why the curtain came to me, but...
This makes me want to make a really eerie lo-fi, like, creepy lo-fi beat for this song. Like, slow it down.
But I can see, but what I'm saying is, can't you admit it at least? You can see why someone would at least be aggravated after playing this, and there's no
A
mute
lot of
button.
music in the older Pokemon games was
It's
that annoying.
obnoxious.
Like, for
Ugh.
instance, you know what used to drive me
Oh, my
crazy
head
as a
hurts.
kid?
It's ringing now. I'm not even over-exaggerating. My ears are ringing.
The thing to me that's crazy is
That
that
was loud.
when I used to play this game, I used to get so pissed off.
Hey, the car's still going off.
Hey, it's still going off.
We blocked it out with Lavender Town.
Every time you get on the bicycle,
Mhm.
it plays the bicycle music, and that
Oh,
music
you've
used
played
to
that for me,
piss
I've heard
me
it.
off every time.
Yeah, you were on
Every
edge,
time.
weren't you? You were ready to punch someone in the throat, like throat punching and falcon
Oh yeah,
punch.
8-year-old me was ready to fist fuck,
Fist
face
fuck.
fist fuck.
Oh no! You're too young to know about fist fucking. Oh no, an 8-year-old version of you? I'm gonna fist.
I'm gonna skull fuck you with my fist. All you
Oh,
other
no.
8-year-olds are talking about knuckle sandwiches, how fucking cute and innocent. I'm gonna fuck your face with my fist.
Oh no. If you said that to 8-year-old me, I'd look at you and be like, what is fist fucking? Go home, ask parent. The parent's like, you're grounded! Like,
What did I do?
I was just
I
asking.
thought I learned a new fun word.
Yeah, and then
I
run
thought it
around
was
saying,
a sentence enhancer.
fist fucking! Yay!
Oh,
Like,
God.
wait, fist fucking?
Face fucking?
Anal fucking.
Face
fuck.
hugging?
I don't know.
That sounds cute,
I
but it's
just
not.
distracted myself. My brain hurts from the Lavender Town sound. I hate it so much. If I had to pick... Alright. You know how I said earlier today that I don't like, fuck was it called? Siren Head.
Oh, yeah.
Siren Head versus Lavender Town? I'd pick Siren Head all the way. I'd deal with
I
that.
have to agree with that.
I would deal with that.
After all, I didn't know what Siren Head was when I put it in one of my
Did you
early
read into
demos.
it? Did you read into that creepypasta? Oh.
No, I don't know anything about
It's
it.
not that great, but
It's just
oh, you
it's just a
should.
goofy looking cryptid type thing, I guess. I don't know.
It's taller than Slender Man. It's a lot taller than Slender Man. It just
Don't
has...
they have Siren Head in a lot of those Skibbity Toilet videos?
I wouldn't know.
But anyway. The fun thing to me about this Lavender Town Syndrome is that because it's kind of just like one piece of a larger puzzle. When you dive into Pokemon creepypastas, you get so many more that spawn from Lavender Town Syndrome.
Okay.
So Lavender Town Syndrome inspired Pokemon Black. It inspired Strangled Red.
Okay.
And a couple of other ones, but there's other Pokemon creepypastas like Disabled.
What's it called?
Disabled.
Why?
Because it's a move. It's one of the moves that psychic Pokemon can use. It makes it so that you can't use a certain move in your 4 moves.
Oh.
So it
paralyzes you in a way.
Paralyze is different though.
Oh, it is.
Okay. So being disabled from being able to use one of your 4 moves is what disabled does. Being paralyzed means you're likely to not be able to use any of your moves that turn.
Okay.
That is a
that makes sense.
That is a status change that can happen to you from electric attacks.
Oh.
So if you get hit with a thunderbolt, you may be paralyzed.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But like I was saying, it inspired other shit. But there's other great ones like Ash's Coma, which is a great concept for why he never ages throughout the story. But I prefer the Ho-Oh theory. I prefer that one a lot more.
Okay.
But I've never heard of Pokemon Lost Silver. I'm probably gonna dive into that later.
Okay.
Boom, boom, boom. So that was Lavender Town Syndrome. VictimMatrixPodcast@gmail.com. If you've got other Pokemon-related creepypastas, I would love to read them because Pokemon was my shit. Was and still is. I love it.
Yeah. Understandable. It is interesting. I still feel like it comes off plausible.
Like
Lavender Town.
that could happen?
Not killing themselves. That's so young to be like, I'm gonna hang myself. But I get what you're saying with the Japanese culture. The parents want them to, take care of them, be independent. So maybe they learned it somehow by videos. Who knows? Or walking around suicide forests.
News, the news in Japan might be more prevalent and darker than our news. I don't know, which is hard to believe. I don't know. But I don't live in Japan, so I don't know that for sure.
Yeah. I understand that. But I don't know. I just can't help but think, at least if they left out the suicide part, I'd believe that story. I would 1,000% be like, this is not a creepypasta.
If the numbers were smaller than 200, I'd totally believe it.
No. What I'm saying is, as long as they take out the suicide part, I'd believe that the kids would either become erratic, angry at nothing, drop at the hat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I get that. That's way more plausible than just straight up suicide, jumping off tall buildings and learning how to hang yourself.
Exactly. So when it comes to the next creepypasta about Squidward here, I can't help but think, because I have seen a few episodes, unfortunately. I'm not a big fan of SpongeBob, but I'm wondering, isn't there an episode that actually comes off like this creepypasta where he's crying over his clarinet or something to the effect of...
I feel like Squidward's crying in every episode.
But the way they explain this creepypasta, this has to be a mock-off to it.
I mean, look, I'm just gonna say, a little bit of spoiler here, but, the scene where he's, crying on his bed and shit like that, very plausible. Not the way they describe it, but very plausible. There are scenes where he's in his bed crying.
Oh, okay. A lot?
Not, a lot, but Squidward's a depressing character. But he's also the most relatable character because he says the things that we as adults understand.
Makes
sense. as a kid, you relate to SpongeBob or Patrick or maybe Sandy. I don't know.
Okay,
and
that
you just
makes
think
sense.
Mr. Krabs got a funny voice, so you're like, he's funny. Arr, 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 arr. You know, I don't know.
Money.
Money.
Yeah.
All right, but so keeping the theme of suicide continuing, we got Squidward's suicide, which there's just so many. I love this one. Okay, so this was written by, hold on.
We did cut it up a bit. So if you want to read the full story, which I did earlier today, and it actually is really well written. I would say definitely check it out, read it for yourself. But we did cut it up once again.
Written
We
by
did.
Anonymous.
That's
actually.
even better. That's why it makes me think it's real. What if someone was fucking around in the animations department? But we definitely cut it up a bit. Vera here cut it up a bit. I read the whole thing earlier today, and I really recommend reading the whole thing if you like SpongeBob. If you're curious of something dark and depressing, check it out. But
so it starts off with, I was an intern at Nickelodeon Studios for a year in 2005 for my degree in animation. Since I worked directly with the animators and editors, I got to view new episodes days before they aired, which, that would have been awesome back in 2005.
Yeah, even though they weren't getting paid, that's their highlight of the whole thing.
I mean, that's how I would look at it.
Yeah, if you like the show.
and you can tell that, like, whoever wrote this isn't actually a writer when they say things like, me and two other interns. Like, it'd be two other interns and I. Not to be a grammar Nazi or anything, but, anyway.
Of course.
Me and two other interns were in the editing room along with the lead animators and sound editors for the final cut of the episode. We received a copy of that was supposed to be Fear of the Krabby Patty, and gathered around the screen to watch. So I'm just picturing a bunch of nerds in a room.
Yeah. I like that they make it fun, though. If this is a real story, which I wouldn't put it past them if it was, but the fact that they make it fun. They're like, oh yeah, we'll put mock up,
Oh yeah, that's the part that they're getting at here.
Oh yeah, I'm already jumping the story because I already read it.
Now that this wasn't the final cut, animators often put up mock title cards at the beginning. It's sort of an inside joke for us, with phony, oftentimes lewd titles such as How Does Sex Work? Or Rockabye Bivolve?
Bivolve, I don't know. Vulva?
When you first read this to me, I thought you said
confused.
Rockabye Vulva, and
That's
that
what I
to me
thought
is
it
such a
was.
funny image. Someone just holding someone's vagina, just going, Rockabye baby on the treetop.
It made sense to me because they talk about the episode where Patrick and SpongeBob they find
a sea scallop.
Yeah, so it makes sense for it to be vulva. But my brain was like, now we're correcting this.
It's honestly better your way. I like it.
I appreciate that. I thought so too. I don't know what the fuck this word is.
So when they saw the title card, Squidward's Suicide, they didn't think anything more of it than a morbid inside joke, which apparently one of the interns had a small throat laugh at that. Whatever a throat laugh is supposed to be.
I feel like that would be... That's a throat laugh. Like that. Like, I feel like that's a throat laugh. I've done throat laughs, and then I hate when I do it. I'm like, oh, that's embarrassing. I'm sure everybody has done a throat laugh.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Where you try to hold in a laugh, but you're like, I can do it.
For me, it'd be like...
Yeah, that sounds like a snort, like a nose laugh. I call
okay,
that
you're
a
right.
nose
That would
laugh.
be a snort. Yeah, you're right.
But then using your throat, it's like... Then you start clearing your throat like I didn't laugh. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Google it. What is a throat laugh? Hey, Siri.
VictimMatrixPodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, shit, my phone started going off.
Oh, my God. Siri was listening. Mind your own business, bitch.
Damn it.
What's
we
next?
weren't asking
Alexa's
you.
going to hear us?
Probably.
I'm, like, waiting for her to hear us.
And says it's the car Carrie outside. Go, meep, beep.
Christine,
my bad. Carrie, yeah, I keep thinking, yeah, that's a whole other prom movie.
All right, carrying on.
Oh, all right. The episode started with the happy-go-lucky music playing as normal. The story begins with Squidward practicing his clarinet, hitting a few sour notes like normal. Does it really normal like normal?
Yeah, he sucks at
Really?
He sucks at clarinet.
Oh,
Like,
no.
he's classically bad at art.
Aw.
He's a bad.
He tries
he's
to
bad
be
at painting.
artsy.
He's bad at
Aw.
painting, and he's bad at his clarinet. It always sounds like.
That sucks. Alright. I didn't mean to get distracted by that part. We hear SpongeBob laughing outside. Squidward stops, comma, yelling at him to keep it down, as he has a concert that night and needs to practice. SpongeBob says, okay. No, you should do that, because you know how to do that voice.
Okay.
And goes
Kinda.
to see Sandy and Patrick. The bubble splash scene comes up. The usual, like, thing in the show, yeah. We're doing sound effects now in this podcast.
I probably just fucked up my lipstick. I don't care.
No, you actually didn't.
Woo!
Shockingly, it's good
Nyx brand lipstick all the way.
Except it gets sticky. But, well, anyway, the bubble splash scene comes up. And we see the ending of Squidward's concert. This is when things begin to seem off. When playing a few frames, repeat... Hold on, I just lost my place. Oh no! I'm canceled. While playing a few frames, repeat themselves. So, okay, the frames repeat themselves is what I meant to read. But the sound doesn't. So there's no sound, but the frames repeat itself. It's supposed to be what is it?
Synced with the
animation. Yep. Thank you. So, yes, that's not common. But when Squidward stops playing, the sound finishes. As if the skip never happened. Did you want to continue from this next part? Or do you want me...
I'll pick up this
Sorry
part.
about that.
There's a slight murmuring in the crowd before they begin to boo him. Not the normal cartoon booing that's common in the show, mind you. You could very clearly hear malice in it. Squidward's in full frame, looking visibly afraid. The shot goes to the crowd with SpongeBob in the center frame. He too is booing, which is very unlike him. I could actually see that being more of a Patrick thing. Boo!
Yeah,
Boo!
Yeah,
I can't picture him booing.
Yeah.
But Patrick, on the other hand, boo!
It makes more sense.
Boo!
He was such a douche,
I thought you were gonna use mayonnaise as an instrument. I was coming for the mayonnaise.
Oh, he was coming for the mayonnaise? He was sticking his dick in the mayonnaise?
Yeah, he usually just sticks his whole,
fist?
whatever you call his fist. It's
the
not,
star?
Yeah,
the star
it's just like...
That's what
the
he
star
fingers
shape that
SpongeBob
everybody
with.
makes.
Sorry, I'll stop. I'm canceled.
Well, I mean, it's pretty much canon that SpongeBob is gay. The original concept of the show was supposed to be for Comedy Central, not for Nickelodeon.
Oh,
they were
really?
supposed to be a gay couple, and
Maybe you
Squidward
did
was
tell
supposed to
me
be the
about that.
closeted gay guy who doesn't want to come to terms
Oh,
with
is
him.
that why there's Handsome Squidward?
Handsome Squidward is because he got
Is that
beat
his
up.
cousin? Wait.
No, Handsome Squidward is a whole thing.
Oh, okay. I heard of that one, so I was confused.
He got beat up, and actually the scene where they make him Handsome Squidward is really fucked up.
Oh,
They were slamming his head in the door.
What?
Like, they were literally taking a door and slamming his head.
What, was he in school?
No, he's at the Krusty Krab. He's at work. He's being workplace violence.
Who the hell is
And then
doing
he
that to
stands
him?
up and he's Handsome Squidward.
Who did this to him, though?
SpongeBob!
Wow.
I know! It's fucked.
That's shocking.
So fucked. I'll have to show you that clip after this.
You'll have to. I'm very confused. Let's see.
Where did I leave off? Hold on.
The shot goes to the crowd with SpongeBob in center frame.
He's booing too.
Did you want to...
That isn't the oddest thing, though. What's odd is that everyone has hyper-realistic eyes, all very detailed. Clearly not shots of real people's eyes, but something a bit more real than normal CGI. The pupils were red. Some of us looked at each other, obviously confused, but since we weren't the writers, we didn't question its appeal to children just yet. The shot goes to Squidward, sitting on the edge of his bed looking very forlorn. Forlorn, it's just I know that's a serious, word for sadness, but
he looks like he's zoning off into space, just looking out his window and just kind of like, okay, that happened today. Yeah.
But for whatever reason, the word forlorn looks like it's a goofy word to me.
Look, it makes me think of flowers. Like, fawn. Is that the word?
You take a much more artistic appreciation to a word like that. I think it looks silly to me.
Yeah.
Just the way it's spelled. I think it's the way it's spelled. The view out of his porthole window, which I didn't know it was called a porthole, but that's cool, is of a night sky, so it isn't very long after the concert. The unsettling part at this point is there's no sound, literally no sound, not even feedback from the speakers in the room. It's as if the speakers were turned off, though the statuses showed them working perfectly. Would you like to take this part?
Squidward just sits there in this silence, blinking for about 30 seconds, and then starts to sob softly. He puts his hands, quotations, it says tentacles after, over his eyes and cries quietly for a full minute more. I can't believe you can do that so well. It still baffles my mind. Anyway, all the while, a second. I keep moving up in the frame, and I'm trying to read this, and my screen's all fucky.
I'm not as good at the clarinet as my brother.
He has a brother?
I don't think it's his brother, but there is a
cousin?
Squilliam Fancy Son. That's his cousin. You're right. That's his cousin.
Oh, I barely watched this shit. All right. All the while, a second in the background is a very gradually growing from nothing to barely audible. It sounds like a slight breeze through a forest. And the screen, damn it. The screen slowly begins to zoom in on his face. By slowly, I mean that it's only noticeable if you look at shots 10 seconds apart side by side. His sobbing gets louder and more full of hurt and anger. The screen then twitches a bit, as if it twitches in on itself.
Oh, like the camera twists in on itself.
Oh, twist, not twitches.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to read it quickly, but also not too slow. All right. Thank you for that. Before going back to normal. So it's turning a little bit and
so
not,
it's like
not
it's
twitching.
twisting on itself. Like,
Oh,
okay,
like
like the camera.
sideways.
Like the camera twisted on itself.
Oh, see, okay, I read it the wrong
Mhm.
the first time I read this to you. But anyway, before getting back to normal. All right. So the wind through the trees sound gets louder and more severe, as if a storm is brewing somewhere. The eerie part is that this sound and Squidward sobbing sounded real. It was like it wasn't coming from the speakers, but that the speakers themselves were holes that sound was traveling through them from the other side. As good as sound as the studio likes to have, they don't have the equipment to be able to produce audio of that quality.
Now that I found interesting because I would think that Nickelodeon Studios, even in 2005, would have that kind of technology. Not like full
I could
Hollywood
see that.
movie, but
Yeah.
good enough. But that was an interesting detail to this.
But the way that I read it was he or she or they, because it is anonymous, of course.
Mhm.
So I feel like this person, the way that they explained it and the way that I take it is where they work, the studio,
Mhm.
they make sure it's soundproof, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I took reading that, but I read it kind of weird. So because I read it as if we're both reading it. So
Yeah.
I don't know. How would you read that? Because to me, I have to read it twice to be
Which
like,
part?
wait a minute. Where they say that the sound gradually, where did I leave off? They don't have the equipment to be able to produce audio of that quality. So before that part, where they are basically explaining that you could get that sound if it was in the show.
Oh, where it was gradually going,
as if there was like
growing
a
from
hole in like
nothing
the audio.
to barely audible.
Yeah, as if there was a hole in the wall or a hole in like the sound equipment.
It sounds like a slight
Something
breeze
from
through
outside.
the forest. It was
Yeah.
probably a sample.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, whoever did this,
Whoever fucked this whole
sampled
thing
it.
up, if it's real, yeah.
because when you find out, when we get to the end of the story, I'll talk more about this.
Mhm. Of course.
But yeah, I imagine it was just a really high quality sample found online.
Yeah, and they did a really low frequency, and they knew what they were doing.
Mhm. At least enough, well enough.
Oh, for sure, the way that they're explaining it.
Mhm.
Excuse me. Below the sound of the wind and sobbing, very faintly audible. It's really hard to ignore that beeping outside.
It's still going.
What the fuck? Did someone die outside?
It's been an
Squidward
hour.
died in the car!
He died in the car. It's been an
Ooh,
hour
I
and a
almost
half.
gave away the ending of this.
He died. What? That he commits suicide? It's in the title card.
No, the way
Oh,
he did
that.
it. I almost said the way he did it. I had to. If there was camera on us right now instead of just audio, you would see me doing the gestures. But anyway, something sounded like laughing. It came at odd intervals and never lasted more than a second. So you... Damn it, I said I wouldn't laugh when you do that. So you had a hard time pinning it. We watched the episode twice. So pardon me if things sound too specific. But I've had time to think about them. After 30 seconds of this, the screen blurred and twitched. Is that correct?
Twitched violently.
Violently. So that's where I probably fucked it up because I saw twitched here and then my brain was
Twisted
like,
over there.
yeah, instead of yeah.
Overthinking your reading.
Overthinking reading all the time when I'm reading out loud. And something finished. Flash. Sorry, finished. Something flash. Sorry.
Squidward's just crying and SpongeBob is just standing over there finishing on him. Just firing one off.
Ew, that makes me think of that really creepy video you showed me where they're eating SpongeBob.
Oh
It's
my
really
sexual.
Sexual.
That's a Meat Canyon episode.
Oh, I hate that. Oh, I
that's
fucking...
such a good one too.
No, but it taught me that I have what you call
hold on.
You have the
fear of holes.
Fear of holes.
Yeah.
I didn't know I had that until you showed me that video, and I was like, ah, no, this is disturbing.
Ominophobia is fear of eyes. Oh, I'll remember this later. victimmatrixpodcast@gmail.com if you know what it's called again.
Yes, because I don't remember. After 30 seconds of this, the screen blurred and twitched violently, and something flashed over it, as if a single frame was replaced. Did you want me to read that part?
Oh, I'll read this part.
Okay.
The lead animation editor paused and rewound frame by frame.
Oh no.
One of these times when I burp, I gotta do a vocal with it.
I was about to say that's one of the that would be one of the people in the background in this studio just burping up like a storm.
Oh yeah, that's them. No,
the one that did this video, not video, but what they did to fuck with the video. The guy
who did it?
in the background,
he's
or the
just
girl.
burping. He's
just
burping. Oh, don't mind me. I had a big lunch.
Yeah, I'm not sketchy or anything. I'm not burping back here.
I'm just watching I'm just looking at my watch because I'm waiting for you guys to get to the part that I really like.
Yeah.
The lead animation editor paused and rewound frame by frame. What we saw was horrible. It was a still photo of a dead child. He couldn't have been more than 6, which fucks with me a little bit because my little guy is about the same age. His face was mangled and bloodied. One eye dangling over it popped. He was naked down to his underwear. His stomach crudely cut open and his entrails splayed out beside him. He was laying on some pavement that was probably a road.
SpongeBob did it, that's why.
Yeah, SpongeBob does come off like he would be a sociopathic serial killer and
he
never
does.
have any, like Norman Bates with no memory.
I can see that.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
I'm ready to murder.
I'm ready.
Of course, right? The most upsetting part was that there was... Wait, this part always fucks me up when I read it to you earlier while you were driving. The most upsetting part was that there was a shadow of the photographer, but no crime tape, evidence tags, or markers. And the angle was completely off for a shot designed to be evidence. So, it was clearly obvious that it wasn't a cop scene.
Either they found
kind of
this on,
thing.
4chan or, some obscure website like that, or they were actually on the dark web and found, 2005, I don't know what the dark web was like back then, but I imagine there was some type of a dark web.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, it would seem there were the person that responsible for the child's death.
Yeah.
We were, of course, mortified, but pressed on, hoping that this was just a sick joke.
Oh yeah, it was a sick joke, but I don't think it was one of the animators or the editors who did it.
I feel like it was.
I don't think it
If
was.
this was real, I think one of those people did that. Or one
Knowing
of the
the
cartoonists.
popularity of the show, I really think... Okay, we'll get into this more when we get to the end of this. I want to give you my theory on this.
Yeah, I definitely want to... we all want to hear it. The screen flipped back to Squidward, still sobbing, louder than before. Half of his body in the frame. There was now what appeared to be blood running down his face from his eyes. The blood was also done in a hyper-realistic style, looking as if you'd get it on your fingers if you touched the screen. The wind sounded now as if it were that of a gale blowing through the forest. There were even snapping sounds like of branches. The laughing, a deep baritone, lasted for longer intervals.
This makes me think it was Patrick.
It sounds like
Yeah,
Patrick.
the baritone part.
Yeah, it does sound like that, because he would do that in the show, right? Yeah, exactly. And it came more frequently. After about 20 seconds, the screen again twisted and showed a single frame photo. You want to get to the next part?
Yeah.
Thank you.
The editor was reluctant to go back. We all were, but we knew we had to. This time, the photo appeared to be of a little girl, no older than the first child. She was laying on her stomach, her barrette in a pool of blood next to her. Her left eye was damaged in the same way as the boy, and she was naked except for her underpants. Her entrails were piled on top of her above another crude cut along her back. Again, the body was on the street, and the photographer's shadow was visible, very similar to the size and the shape of the first. I had to choke back vomit, and one intern, the only female in the room, ran out, and the show resumed. Honestly, like, as a parent, like, if I had to see that, I could understand why you'd be, like, fucked up.
I feel like even if you're not a parent, you're sympathetic to a child, like a child's life. Just knowing, because they're innocent. They trust anyone that walks, up to them and all that shit until they learn, like, don't trust strangers. You're gonna have sympathy of, like, oh yeah, this is fucked up. I don't like reading this. This is making me uncomfortable. I've never been a parent. Step parent to your kids, but trying to be, it's not that easy. But I didn't think we'd talk about kids on this podcast. Like, anything about being a step parent. But, it doesn't matter, in my opinion. Like, reading about an innocent life, it's fucked up. I was shocked when I read this out, too. I kept stopping, and I'm like, wait a minute, again? What the fuck is going on? And then I read the lightning one, too, and it was another child situation.
See, it always comes back to children.
Yep.
It's always the children. We gotta save the children.
Abortion? Sorry. Anyway, when we leave off, that was a bad joke. I'm so sorry, dark humor. You didn't even catch on to it.
No, because I was looking up something else.
Oh, of course you were ADHD.
Yeah, because I was trying to find out if there's actually, like...
Meep. Meep. Oh, I gotta read on time. I'm getting used to this sound now. I got almost 2 seconds before I did it. This is now an ASMR of a car beeping, just to kind of get you to relax. The story itself is very dark and disturbing, while Vera here is doing a sidebar. She is looking up something while I'm trying to distract myself from the beeping of the car. Now it's Vera's turn again. There we go.
We're going to get into that at the end.
Oh, which part? Oh, what you were Googling?
What I
was trying to distract, but I know you're going to cut it out anyway.
I was trying to find theories.
Oh, well, I was trying to turn it into an ASMR. Go on.
ASMR.
I did my best.
Some flesh.
About 5 seconds after the second photo's played, you want to go, or did you get lost? You're lost.
About
Squidward
5
went
seconds
silent.
after the...
Just
We're reading over each other.
I did it on purpose.
We're professionals.
People might find that funny. If you don't, email us. Let us know we suck. I'm kidding. It's my fault. Go on.
About 5 seconds after this second photo played, Squidward went silent. All sound was cut out like it did when the scene started. He put his tentacles down, and his eyes were now done in hyper-realism like the others at the beginning of the episode. They were bleeding, bloodshot, and pulsating. He just stared at the screen as if watching the viewer. After about 10 seconds, he started sobbing, this time not covering his eyes. The sound was piercing and loud. The most fear-inducing thing of all was that his sobbing was mixed with screams.
It makes me, I swear I feel like this is real. Not this, what we're telling the audience,
Yeah.
but I feel like I have seen an episode of Scoreboard crying where his eyes were pulsating.
That's the part I was going to get
That's
into next, is that they reference the meme in the show, actually.
Oh.
They created a full-on, here, I'll show it to you.
Well, I don't want to, sidebar, I'm sorry.
I don't want to sidebar too hard. We're not going to sidebar too long on this, but, you can see here they actually referenced it in the episode.
I saw it. Okay.
He opens a freaking door, and it's like a wall of doors. He opens one door, and it's a picture of the meme.
Okay. And that actually happened in the show?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I knew I thought
like,
I saw
it's a
that.
Business Insider article talking about the answers are unclear why the animators decided to reference it, but they did.
Yeah. That's interesting.
There was tears and blood were dripping down his face at a heavy rate. The wind sound came back, and so did the deep-voiced laughing. This time with a still photo that lasted for a good 5 frames. The animator was able to stop it at the 4th and backed up. This time, the photo was of a boy, about the same age, but the scene was different. His entrails were being pulled out from his stomach wound by a large hand. The right eye popped and dangling. Blood trickling down it, the animator proceeded. The next frame was different, but we couldn't tell how. He continued to the next image, and it was the same thing. He then went back to the first and played them quicker, and I lost it. I vomited on the floor. The animation and the sound editors gasped at the screen. The 5 frames were not 5 different photos. They were frames from a video. We saw a hand slowly lift out the guts. We saw the kid's eyes focus on it. We even saw 2 frames of the kid beginning to blink.
So is that, when you're dying and you still can move your... It's like when you're beheaded,
weird moment
right?
When, being disemboweled, you've got one eye popped out, but you're watching all this happening because you haven't died yet.
Yeah, you're still functioning.
Which to me is even more fucked up because we're talking about a child.
Yeah.
Watching themselves, watching some large hand attached to a human being, presumably a male.
Slender Man.
I don't think it was Slender Man.
I know, it's a really bad joke. I was trying to make it funny because this is fucking disturbing.
It is fucking disturbing. But, yeah, just watching someone play with their entrails. It's fucking But, yeah.
Meep. Sorry, I'm trying to make it funny.
You're referencing the fucking nematodes.
Oh.
Neep.
Or the other characters in the show just shows up randomly. I don't understand the story.
That's not what I thought you were going to reference. There are actually fish in the story that walk around going, meep.
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't know much about the show.
In the episode where, I think his name was Kyle.
Kyle? They named a fish Kyle. They couldn't try harder.
He was a jellyfisher who was,
just running around fishing.
He was like a celebrity jellyfisher.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know about this.
And all hail Kyle.
No.
Do you want to take this part or do you want me to?
The lead sound editor told us to stop. He had to call on the creator to see this, Mr. Now, how would you pronounce his last name?
Hillenberg.
I thought so. I said that earlier, too, when I was reading it to you, but I always question how I pronounce names.
Yeah.
Arrived within about 15 minutes. He was confused, as to anyone would be, but I'm adding that into the story, as to why he had been called down, so the editor just continued the episode. Once the next few frames were shown, all screening and sound again stopped. Scorber was just staring at the viewer, his face taking up the full frame for about 3 seconds. the shot quickly panned out. That deep voice said, "Do it." No, you have a better voice.
Do
than that.
it.
Do it.
Do it.
Yeah, see that's what I thought you were gonna do.
Do it.
Do it. But or maybe a quiet one like do it. But like deep. Anyway. And we saw I always overthink that. I try to be theatrical about it.
I'm picturing the
Do it.
do it.
Isn't that a meme?
Just fucking do it.
Just do it. Yeah, it's a meme. And we saw a shotgun in Squidward's hands. He immediately pulls the gun in his... No, I'm sorry. He immediately puts the gun in his mouth and pulls the trigger. Realistic blood and brain matter splatters the wall behind him and his bed. And he flies back with force. The last 5 seconds of the episode show his body on the bed. Wow.
On its side.
On its side. Wow. I'm trying to read this as quick as possible, and I keep fucking myself up when I promised I'd read it slow. One eye dangling from what's left of his head above the floor, staring blankly at it. Then the episode ends. You want to...
Yeah. See, this is honestly... That part sounds pretty fucking metal. Even though we're talking about suicide, I'm just saying the imagery I'm getting in my head, it looks pretty fucking metal.
Yeah,
You know,
I get that.
It's like, you know, SpongeBob cartoon into very hyper-realistic gore. Like, part of me kind of appreciates that. But at the same time, like, we've already talked about, what, 4 child corpses.
Yeah, I would say so.
Those parts, not a big fan of that. Not a big fan of the
could've,
suicide.
You know, they could have left out the fact that the kids were in their underwear. Obviously, it was a pedophile that also has a thing for ripping out.
No, because if they're clothed,
they have
you know?
no. They were naked but in underwear.
They were naked.
That's fucked up.
But only in their underwear.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you are on something.
All of it's fucked up. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying, why'd they have to be in their underwear?
I'm trying to be optimistic.
I
Okay,
know.
maybe it wasn't a pedophile. Maybe it was just a child murderer.
Yeah, but why?
Lucid's staring at me. Like, Lucid stared at me when I said that. And
She's
it
like,
creeped me
"Who?"
out the way she was like, you know, all wide-eyed, ears perked up. Like,
I'll tell
looking
you
at
right
me.
now, the only reason why she looked at
Yeah.
you like that was because she was like, "Stop
She's
the
like-
fucking beeping, human! You have the ability. I think you have the ability. Make it stop." It's been going on for 2 hours now, audience. 2 hours. A car has been going beep, 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 and then it stops. It goes beep, beep, and then it stops for a
It
little bit.
literally has a whole ass pattern
It's been really hard to ignore it.
where it's going really fast and then it's
Yeah.
going really slow.
I think someone died outside, or they're fucking with their ex,
If it wasn't the
or
fact,
it's a prank.
if it
to
wasn't
be
for
a
the
prank.
fact that the lights, like the four-ways weren't going at the same time, I would think that somebody was in the car doing it.
Oh,
Like
okay.
on drugs or something and just
Yeah.
didn't realize they were doing it because
Yeah.
they were so heavily on drugs.
Mhm.
Damn.
But no one's in there, right?
But no one's in the car.
It doesn't look like anybody's
It's just
in
the
there.
four-ways going and the horn.
Yeah.
So that leads
And
me
you
to
said it
believe
was
it's
kids.
a key
I
fob.
don't think it's a kid.
I don't think it's a kid either. at
It's
this
fucking
point.
2 in the morning. There's no way a kid's awake. Well, your kid did that yesterday. It was wide awake till 2.
Anyway,
If it
Mr.
steals the
Hillenberg.
keys. Sorry. Go on.
Obviously, Mr. Hillenberg was angry at this. He demanded to know what the hell was going on. Most people left the room at this point, so there was just a handful of us to watch it again. Viewing the episode twice only served to imprint its entirety, the entirety of it, in my mind and caused me horrible nightmares. I'm sorry I stayed. The only theory I could think of. Wow.
Hey, now you're doing what I do.
I do this all the time.
Oh, I thought
I just try to
thought I
try to
was alone in
speed
that.
read sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
The only theory we could think of was that the file had been edited by someone in the chain from the drawing studio to here. The CTO was called in to find out what had happened. Analysis of the file did show that it was mixed with new material. However, the timestamp of the change was a mere 24 seconds before we began viewing it. All equipment involved was examined for foreign software and hardware, as well as glitches such as if the timestamp was showing us the wrong time, but everything checked out fine. We didn't know what had happened, and to this day, nobody does. There was an investigation due to the nature of the photos, but nothing came of it. So, as fucked up as it is, like, no,
Wow.
like, assuming it's real. I don't think it is real. But
who would come up with a story like this and why?
I don't
It's
know.
very. I can't help but think it was real. Like some serial killer, it sounds like. They were trying to, either show off what they did, or they were trying to cry for help, and they put it into this animation because they work there. The fact that but the part that fucks with me the most is the fact that there was no evidence found. Even the identity of the kids, no child seen was identified, and no clues were gathered from the data involved. What the fuck? That's bullshit. Within this time period, fuck you. You're telling me no parent out there, unless it was a fucking adopted child, and they don't have any parents? Okay, fine. If it's a random homeless child and they were just...
Ooh, that's sad.
I made it more depressing. I'm sorry.
God damn it.
Sorry. But that's the only way I can make it make sense if it was real. I'm so sorry. More trauma. More SpongeBob references. Right? Oh, it's Family Guy. I didn't realize. Yeah.
But seriously, as much as I fuck with this story, and I think that there's some comedy to be found in it.
Yeah.
Stealing the vape, don't mind me.
No worries.
As much as I think there's comedy to be found in this story, just because of how hilariously bad the writing style is, because you can tell it wasn't someone who's like an actual writer. But the way they describe everything and the details that they chose to include, and the fact that there were four
Yeah, I think it was 4
dead children, all with the same exact MO in it, and then Squidward kills himself and ends up with an eye popping out.
Yeah.
It's like a weird...
Was it always the left eye?
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. That's symbolic.
I know, right?
Odin. Oh.
Ah.
Odin did it.
It was Odin.
Odin was like, all these kids, they were not meant to be here. No, I have no idea. But that is kind of weird.
I'm sick of these motherfucking kids and my goddamn mule thorn.
Mule thorn?
I don't know.
That's what I think of that. Excuse me.
That's what I think of that. Absolutely.
That story, where the fuck did the little thing go? Oh, thank you.
The plug?
The little plug, the butt plug for the vape.
Where's my butt plug?
Not mine. I don't do that. No, the vape.
my vape plug.
That makes it sound even more sketchy. No, my vape plug. I don't have a butt plug. I don't do that. Anyway, wow. I feel like it's a plausible thing to be real.
It's a plausible thing to be real, but I also feel like because of the popularity of SpongeBob at the time, it's not unrealistic. Like, right around the time that the movie was coming out, it was massively popular. It was global.
What movie?
It was global.
Oh,
the first SpongeBob movie.
Oh. Okay.
It was global. It was a global phenomenon. Huge. My brother would watch it. I'm not even exaggerating. On every long car trip. On every long car trip, he needed to watch SpongeBob going to sleep at night, which meant watching that whole DVD until it stopped at the very fucking end.
Is he okay?
And some nights I would stay up and watch the whole goddamn thing all the way to the very end.
No wonder why you can do the voices really well.
Because I couldn't fall asleep. So I just sat there and I watched it the whole goddamn night.
Wow.
Yeah! That was me by the end of it.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna kill myself like Squidward did.
I hate the little bonk sound. Are you okay?
I actually bonked my head on the wall for that bit. Worth it. Worth it for the bit.
No, worth it.
But I digress. Yeah, my theory here is that somebody hacked into it, because knowing the increasing popularity of the show right around the time, like right around 2005, this sounds like hacker behavior. This sounds like some shithead.
Yeah, but if it's real, it's not a horror movie.
If it's real, but again,
serial killer.
This is just a creepypasta.
Yeah,
it's just.
But it was anonymous, so that proves to you. That should tell you right there, with it being anonymous. What if they don't want to be found, and they're just like, I don't want to talk about it anymore? When it's anonymous, I can't help but think that's real. They're being honest. This is my experience. This is what we saw.
Honest Anonymous. Sounds like a great
No, really,
username.
though. Anonymous people, if they tell you a story this elaborate, they don't want to be found. They're telling you something that they're too scared to tell you because someone told them to shut the fuck up. And don't tell anyone they saw this. Because cops couldn't figure it out. So they were like, well, keep your mouth shut, asshole. You're losing your job.
I mean, it's credited to Suicide Squidward, which is really only... Oh. Which brings you to a Reddit page. I wrote Squidward suicide, and I'm kind of happy with how much it's spread.
Oh, come on.
On Reddit, yeah. Now,
this
is it
pretending.
true? Is it true?
This is a liar.
I don't know.
Is it Ask Me Anything?
There's a Reddit post that if you go to the Creepypasta page, they actually tag the this particular sorry, I got confused there for a hot second because he passed me a beer.
Sorry.
There's a credit to a Redditor whose username is Suicide Squidward, post on ourself titled I wrote Squidward suicide and am kind of happy with how much it spread. I don't know why, but it feels nice to see something you created spread and get brought up years later when people discuss things that scare them, because it is something that stuck with them after reading it despite it being a copypasta. I had just read Suicide Mouse and Dead Bart earlier that night and had nothing to do, and decided to try my hand at a lost episode show. What people read is the hastiest final draft I wrote on a whim. I had no idea it would ever go beyond 7chan X-board. Figured at best it would get a small amount of attention and then never be spoken of again. As for proof, all I can offer is a screenshot of the original thread on 7chan that I took of it that will predate anything else online. The YouTube videos were not done by me at all, which was a surprise to me when they happened. I do feel a small sense of pride that something I created spread as far as it did. I mean, there's nothing there.
I think this person's a liar.
Yeah.
I think this person just wanted like some cake day. I don't know.
They wanted a cake, but they did not know that the cake isn't real.
Yeah, exactly.
So they had to find out the hard way. So it's bullshit.
Whoever wrote it, I feel like it was real. It seems very well written, as if it was a...
Well written, as if,
really
someone who actually
stories,
was an animator there who wrote it.
Yeah.
But, it definitely has that haphazard style to it. And that I appreciate for it, because it adds realism. If you write something hastily like that, it does add a little bit of realism. Like, I experienced this, and I kind of just had to write it down, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, again, if it were real, I retain the theory that it would have had to have been a hacker because of the popularity of the show at the time. But
I get that.
I wonder how they feel about the fact that they referenced it in one of their episodes.
Yeah, I wonder.
Wah. Suicide Mouse. I am very, very, literally, just kind of became obsessed with this one, like, right as we started deciding we were going to talk about this on the episode. But it is my understanding that you are not quite as much a fan of this one as I am.
The music at the beginning creeps me out, but the very first one with the piano. And that takes a lot to creep me out. But the whole Mickey Mouse thing, Disney in general, I don't know. It's just kind of cheesy to me.
I get that.
But I also can believe that is a possibility that it was made by an editor. Just to fuck
like someone
with
who
Walt
actually
Disney.
worked at Disney?
Yeah, I forgot the name for them. Editor, auditor, I don't know. What was the name for them? Creator? Artistic person?
Editor?
Artsy person?
Animator?
Animator.
There we go.
Yes,
Animator.
thank you.
Words are hard.
No, I just can't remember shit lately. So, yeah.
It is my opinion, and we'll get more into this a little later, but it is my opinion that none of the videos that we've seen uploaded onto YouTube as the quote-unquote original are the original. I don't think even the first one that made its way to YouTube, I don't even think that one's the original. I think
I
that...
thought it was. I thought it was, but it doesn't really look like... exactly.
It
doesn't look like the same style of 1920s.
And that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Like, we'll get into it more, as we get further into explaining this. But it doesn't match up with the animation style of the time, and the effects don't really seem like effects that they had back then. You pair that with anybody who's done any kind of video editing or audio engineering would know that, like, when you listen to it, you can tell what's sampled, you can tell what kind of like effects are used on screen that are done in post that are like it just doesn't make sense for like the way that they hand drew everything back then. And I understand that it's part of the creepypasta, which we're going to read here in a minute, but it doesn't quite add up. So I think the real one is still locked up somewhere, if there is a real one at all.
It would make the most sense for it to be locked up in some kind of Walt Disney vault of mistakes made of animation. If you really think about it, because when you get further down with explaining to the listeners about a certain video and two people getting fired over it, it makes sense where you wouldn't see the original because it would out Walt Disney or, kind of make a bad name for Walt Disney and things like that. Even though there's been a lot of things that outed Walt Disney to be a bad thing.
I mean, he's literally outed himself as basically a neo-Nazi, but well, not really a neo-Nazi. This would make him like a
that word, but yeah.
No, he was a fan of Hitler.
No, it's okay to say that on here.
No, he was literally a fan of Hitler.
No, I believe you. I know. He bought his paintings with the... He bought that piece of shit's paintings, which is the, German Shepherd paintings?
Oh, God, it's so weird to think that Hitler was such a huge fan of painting German Shepherds.
Yeah, it's pretty depressing they use a dog person. How can a Nazi love dogs? How is that possible?
Something about that tells me that he wasn't very good to his dogs then.
Probably not. He probably was very... Anyway,
I wanted to give a pretty big shout out to Cackling Pumpkins, because their video breakdown on all this, it's like 11 minutes long.
YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, the YouTube channel Cackling Pumpkins did a video on whether or not the creepypasta is real or fake. Huge source of well, let me put it this way. It was a valuable resource for doing this episode because it talks about a lot of the points that we're going to be bringing up in this. So if you haven't already seen it, definitely go check it out. If you were willing to sit through the 9-minute creepypasta, well, not 9-minute creepypasta. If you were willing to sit through the 9-minute videos of the original Suicide Mouse, you should be willing to sit through all 11 minutes of this video because it goes into a lot of the things we're going to be talking about today. So definitely huge shout out to them because they helped answer a lot of the questions that we had when preparing for this episode.
Unintentionally, they don't know us.
It's not like they sent it to us.
I know. I'm just
like
throwing out the obvious.
But if you search up Suicide Mouse on YouTube, it does come up pretty quickly. It's sitting around that I think it's like 1.4 million views at this point. But yeah. With that said, should we get right into the pasta?
Of course.
I'm hungry for some spooky spaghetti. According to sources, it's nothing special. It's just a continuous loop, like the Flintstones, of Mickey walking past 6 buildings that go on for 2 or 3 minutes before fading out. Unlike the cutesy tunes put in, though, the song on this cartoon was not a song at all. Just a constant banging on a piano for 1.5 minutes before going to white noise for the remainder of the film.
It wasn't Mickey and Minnie banging on the piano, was it?
Maybe it was. Maybe that's where his brain was while he was walking through town.
Because I just hate how some people put it, banging on a piano. There's other ways of putting it. Like, playing off-key sounds.
Oh,
but no,
I think
we gotta put it banging on a piano. My brain automatically goes to sex. I don't know what's wrong with me, but... Like, Mickey and Minnie are fucking? I'm sorry. You guys said banging on a piano.
Oh, we'll be getting into that later.
Banging on a piano? I don't have a piano. Who's banging on a piano? Anyway, go on. Bad joke.
Stick
Bad
around.
joke.
We'll talk about that a little bit later. It wasn't the jolly old Mickey we've come to love either. Mickey wasn't dancing, not even smiling, just kind of walking as if you or I were walking, with a normal expression, normal facial expression, but for some reason his head tilted side to side as if he kept this dismal look. Up until a year or two ago, everyone believed that after it cut to black and white, that was it. When Leonard Maltin was reviewing the cartoon to be put into a complete series.
But who's Leonard Maltin?
He's actually a person who was putting together a compilation of Mickey Mouse shorts for like DVD compilations.
So did he work there, or was he
Yes.
a YouTuber?
He's a real person.
Just checking.
Yep.
Because maybe listeners don't know who that is either.
Mm-hmm. He is a real person. Mm-hmm. But wanted to have a digital copy due to the fact that it was a creation of Walt Disney's, like an original creation of Walt Disney's. When he had a digitized version up on his computer to look at the file, he noticed something. This cartoon was actually 9 minutes and 4 seconds long. This is what my source emailed to me in full, in parentheses written, he is a personal assistant of one of the higher executives at Disney, and an acquaintance of Mr. Maltin himself. Do you want to take this next part?
Sure. Oh, sorry. After it cut to black, it stayed like that until the 6th minute before going back into Mickey walking. The sound was different this time. It was a mummer. It wasn't a language, but more like a gargled cry. I don't understand that though. Still, I'm gonna say that for the audience because I think they agree. Gargled sounds
Gurgled.
and gurgled. Sorry,
Gurgled.
I hate that word. I fucking hate gurgled. It's like some people hate moist. I hate gurgled. I hate gurgled. I can't say it, let alone I hate the word. But murmur. I hate that word too. Holy shit. I can't say both those words. I know what they mean, but I hate saying them. But aren't those two things not a language? Why would they? Whoever wrote this is a jackass. Anyway, let's continue. Sorry. As the noise got more indistinguishable. Fucking hate that word too. It sounds so Anyway, I hate the English language. And loud over the next minute. The picture began to get weird. The sidewalk started to go in directions that seemed impossible based on the physics of Mickey's walking, and the dismal face of the mouse was slowly curling into a smirk. Yep. And there's so many different versions of it too. We watched how many now?
Well,
6?
at this point,
Six of them.
We've
And I
recognized
want
the
to bash
fact
my
that
head into a wall. We've watched 6 of them. Sorry, go on.
no, we watched more like 10 to 12. But I found out that
Yeah.
there's a playlist on
It's so goofy.
YouTube of
It's so-
200.
200?
There's like
200
200
people made this
videos on a
shit?
playlist. I don't
Fucking
think they're
200.
all Suicide Mouse. I think they're all just different variations.
Mhm.
Obviously there's different variations, like different remakes of it and
Okay.
stuff. But some of them were just like 11-second videos, like shorts kind of thing.
Good for
kind
them.
of going
wanna
along
make that.
with the meme at this point.
You want to know what bothers me the most hearing this? And I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Anybody that wants to email us or what have you, or comment and post, whatever the fuck you want to do, it's up to you. I personally think
Mhm.
it's insulting that so many people have made different versions of Ben Drown, but not Ben Drown. They haven't done the, like, for Suicide Mickey, right? Or Suicide
Mouse, yeah.
But Ben Drown, which is a fucking Zelda favorite, I thought.
Yeah.
They've only made, like, maybe 2 or 3.
Well, there's
Where
a
you
game
have
for
a
it.
gameplay that you found yesterday.
Yep.
But then the actual main person, the anonymous person that posted all along, like, oh, I got this from someone for free, an old man. I know you didn't want to talk about this one yet, but
Yeah.
long story short, got it from a man, old man, on the side of the streets when you go garage sale type shit. Brings it home, plays it, it's haunted by some kid named Ben that died. And the whole story is fucking amazing, whoever wrote it. They wrote it
But
really
there's
well.
also so many
But
books
why is
to
there
it. There's
so
a lot
many
of
different
lore.
versions?
When it comes to something like Ben Drowned,
But then
that's a
there's so
whole
many
episode
different-
by itself because there's so much lore.
But they don't have different versions of the game, like fucking around just to have fun.
There's a web version of it that we can download and play. I really want to.
I know. But I just think it's wild to me that they have so many different versions of Dead Mouse.
That's... No, I like what you did there.
Thank you. I wasn't sure if you'd pick up on it. But Suicide Mouse. Sorry, it was so dumb. That was a dad joke.
No, that was a good one. I like that.
It wasn't. It was so dumb. It was so like, slip it in, hope someone gets it.
Slip it in. Hopefully we're wearing a condom.
No, I was not going to make that gross joke. No.
If not, I guess we're going to have a dead baby.
No, you'd hope it's a dead baby.
Just like that one Mickey short we watched.
Oh, shit.
The Mickey has schizophrenia one.
That was a weird one.
That was
Minnie
a weird
is
one.
pregnant, and he's like, how long have you been pregnant? Like,
how long have you been pregnant for? Should I go to the doctor? No, you shouldn't go to the doctor, you fucking bitch!
Yeah, he said that. Mickey said that.
Well, not the real Mickey.
Not the real Mickey,
the person
but
who made
whoever
the
made it. I sat there just shocked and confused. I'm like, the fuck are we watching right now? Who made this?
All right, the listeners want to know when we're going to finish up this creepypasta.
Yeah, of course. Where'd you leave off?
On the 7th minute.
What? Oh, no, you read.
Okay. On the 7th minute, the murmur turned into a blood-curdling scream, the kind of scream that's painful to hear, and the picture was getting more obscure. Colors were happening that shouldn't have been possible at the time. Mickey's face had began to fall apart. His eyes rolled to the bottom of his chin like two marbles in a fishbowl. What a weird-ass description.
It's funny, because other videos say it didn't roll down to his face. It was just sunken in, right?
In some videos, it's sunken in. In other videos, they fall off completely, and they're on the sidewalk
dragging
moving
with
back.
Him or some shit?
No, not like dragging back. Like, they fall off, and they stay on the sidewalk, and they just move with the background.
Oh.
Yeah, it
would make
depends
more
on...
sense if it was hanging off his face.
Well, that
Like
speaks
logic.
to, like, you know, how much
Logic and science.
the people who remade it cared about staying true to the original creepypasta.
Okay.
You know? And for the most part, most of them kind of took their own kind of creative license with it. But this part, for the most part, always stays true. And his curled smile was pointed upward on the left side of his face.
Mm-hmm.
What I find interesting, though, is that in the creepypasta, they say on the left side of his face, but in every video we have seen, it's the right side of his face.
Yeah.
He's moving to the right.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a fuck up on writing, how they were writing it, and, you know. Who knows?
Hard to say. If it was moving in the other direction,
yeah.
like if Mickey was walking to the left,
of course,
then I'd be like, okay, now we're on to something.
Yeah.
If he's walking to the left, it's the left side of his face.
Mm-hmm.
Or we're still seeing him walking to the right, but the left side of his face the smile is moving more that way, you know, and he's facing the camera more.
I think they should do with this whole creepypasta that's been out for years. What I really think they should do, and now that Walt Disney's dead, well, he's been dead for years, they should put Suicide Mouse in It's a Small World After All ride. They really should. I was picturing this in my head the whole time, and they really should do that. I would go to Disney World or Disneyland just to see that, because that'd be funny. That would actually be entertaining.
Okay, that would be a hell of an Easter egg, but just one little clip, like one little frame.
Just random. Yeah.
Kind of in the background, kind of tucked away, just so that it's like out of sight for most people. I love that.
To get into the story of that, did you know? You probably didn't know. This is interesting. The Small World After All ride. Someone actually, a female, doesn't matter what their gender was, but the story goes, a female worker got crushed in the wall, and you could still see her spirit to this day in that ride. Like her screams were heard the day she died. The day she died.
The horrors of Disneyland.
Like, she got crushed in the walls. She didn't
itself.
move off, like, the panel she's supposed to move. Basically, she was a worker that introduces the ride to you, and then she's supposed to take a step back. She didn't take a step back fast enough, and they closed the wall on her, and she crushed, and everybody heard her screams of death.
That's fucking brutal.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's how the story goes, but they also have an underground world. This could be a whole other episode. But they have an underground world in Disneyland. Or Disney World, whatever it is.
Disneyland
I don't know
Underworld.
the difference. But no, when I say underworld, it means like if someone dies in costume and or on a ride, they quickly take care of it.
Yes.
And they bring them down.
Yes, this has actually been pretty well documented.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
They don't want you to believe in death.
No, they want you to believe in death all the way up until 1985, which we'll get into more.
Oh, okay.
That's when Mickey starts to take a kind of like a turn to be more... Anyway, we'll get into that more later. The story goes on to say the buildings become rubble floating in midair, and the sidewalk was impossibly navigating in warped directions. A few seemingly inconceivable with what we as humans know about direction. Mr. Moulton got disturbed and left the room, sending an employee to finish the video and take notes on everything happening up until the last second, and afterward immediately store the disc of the cartoon into the vault. This distorted screaming lasted until 8 minutes and a few seconds in, and then it abruptly cuts to the Mickey Mouse face at the credits of the end of every video.
I feel like, honestly, with that being said, Suicide Squidward sounds worse.
Suicide Squidward is a million times worse.
1,000 times worse. Because it was actual.
Is a million
if
times
it was
worse.
real, it was actual photos and one video of.
It looked like a guy trying to out himself, like kind of like in the
studio that worked there.
You know how a lot of criminals want to tell their story, and like most of the time with serial killers, we're hearing about the story.
Yeah, it's
from
like the
them.
Zodiac killer.
That's the opposite. He never got caught.
I know, which is weird because he tried getting caught.
The story about Zodiac Killer is, the hunt for him. But with most killers in general, especially the pedophilic ones, they want their crimes to be known. And this is exactly what, Squidward Suicide is a confession tape, but without actually putting his own face to it. The most you see is kind of like Corpse Husband. You just see his hand.
I mean, yeah, good point. Well, and legs, when he got that interview with Anthony Padilla.
Whatever.
Because you saw his legs, you saw his torso.
Plot twist.
Not to correct
Corpse Husband is a woman.
You never know. You never know. How about a trans man? That would be even better.
That would be a really good reason for him to conceal his identity. That would actually make a lot of sense.
Yep, I agree. Trans man all the way. He should be a trans man.
A trans man with Gert.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, that's an interesting theory.
It doesn't make sense. This theory doesn't work. I forgot he had Gert.
No, it just adds to it.
I think he's using a voice corrector. A voice editor.
You think it's a filter?
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me. I'm telling you as an audio engineer, amateur at that, it's not a filter.
You sure?
That's his voice.
You sure?
Yes.
You sure?
You can't, no. No.
Alright.
I've heard all different types of AI. I've heard all
met
different
people
types of
on
vocal
VR
filters.
chat that sounded like Corpse and they claimed to be Corpse. It was like sporadic.
They're putting on a voice.
No, they sounded like Corpse. I'm not kidding you. I thought I met Corpse on VR chat because Corpse used to go on VR chat and he was like, I don't want to prove myself. I'm just here to have fun. I'm like, nice meeting you. I think you're really chill. I like your videos. But he sounded just like Corpse and it was like different timestamps when I met Corpse. But I feel like it wasn't really Corpse. It sounded like Corpse. He just went by a different name, like an avatar, and he was like, alright, I am Corpse, but I don't want anybody to know I'm here. And I was like, why me, though? And he was like, you're cool to talk to. Have I already told you that?
You have told me this.
Yeah,
I
he
love
was like,
this story.
you're cool to talk to. And I'm like, I don't believe you're Corpse. I'm not going to fangirl over here because I think you're cool and you have, like, 2 good songs I like and, you read stories well.
Honestly, alright, well, I could get into the whole Corpse thing, but yeah.
If I were to go long story into this, but too long didn't read, if it really was Corpse I met on VR chat 3 different times, that person, that human, they were really chill. They were really nice to talk to. They had a lot of philosophical things to talk about, and they wanted to hang out for a little bit. Like, I would say at most it was like 30 minutes we talked. And they were just like, I just don't want anybody to know I'm the person that I am. I just want to hang out. and you seem chill.
I just want to hang out.
Yeah, and we'd like talk. It was wild. We just talked
cool.
about scientific shit and like
Yeah.
just like life and spiritual shit.
Have you ever heard of
You talked about paranormal
Marcus
too.
Aurelius?
No, we
I'm
talked about
telling you, man.
paranormal shit.
Paranormal shit?
Yeah.
That's my shit. I got a whole YouTube channel about
I'd have
that.
to really think
I
about
read
it, but
creepypastas
it was
and
interesting.
stuff.
Yeah, you did.
No, look, there are a lot of people that
But I just
like,
think that people are fucking around on VR chat and they use a voice changer. I really do believe that. I
I
don't
don't
think I
think
met
so.
the
A
real
lot of people
corpse.
practice his voice.
No, it sounded legit, and that's why I think it was a voice changer. I don't
Fair
think
enough.
I met the real
But
corpse. Just
I
like
think the
saying
guy's
like,
got
oh, I met
enough-
Markiplier. Like,
The guy's got
no.
enough content on YouTube for a pretty decently accurate AI to be made of his voice.
Exactly.
I
Yep.
think that could
Point
be done,
made.
but I also think that like it'd be really hard to do that in real time and be convincing about it.
All right, so then you could say I met Aaron from Game Grumps and Corpse now. Well,
I
I
mean-
actually technically didn't meet Aaron. I was sitting at the same next to the table next to his and his wife.
I mean, that's pretty fucking
I
cool.
still
if
wish
you
I
ask
could have
me.
walked up and said hello. But Game Grumps, you ever hear of us? Hello. I saw you in
Game
Salem,
Grumps, if you're
Massachusetts.
listening, we fucking
They
made
never
it.
will listen. They never will.
You doubt it?
I doubt it.
Well, if you're listening, we made it.
If that's the case, then it's like, yeah, you're great. It's awesome.
The
Sam, that's
creepypasta goes on to say that this distorted screaming lasted until 8
Can you
minutes
tell
and
I'm
a few
bored by
seconds
the
in.
Mickey story? No, sorry, go on.
Oh.
I was rambling because I hate this
Oh.
Mickey story. It's so, this creepypasta. Why are people freaked out by it?
We're almost done. We're almost done with
No,
the
it's okay.
pasta.
I won't be lame. All right, go on.
And then it abruptly cuts to the Mickey Mouse face in the credits at the end of every video with what sounded like a broken music box playing in the background. This happened for about 30 seconds, and whatever was in the remaining 30 seconds, I haven't been able to get a sliver of information about. From a security guard working under me, who was making rounds outside of that room, I was told that after the last frame, the employee stumbled out of the room with pale skin saying, "Real suffering is not known,"
Wait,
several
what?
times before speedily taking the guard's pistol and offing himself on the spot.
What? That was a drastically different story
Things
from
really
what I knew.
escalated quickly there, huh?
Oh, I didn't know that.
The thing I could get out of Leonard Maltin was that the last frame was a piece of Russian text that roughly said, "The sights of hell bring its viewers back in." As far as I know, no one else has seen it, but there have been dozens of attempts at getting the file on RapidShare by employees inside of the studios, all of whom have been promptly terminated of their jobs. That's shittily written, but, you know, whatever.
I noticed.
Whether it got online or not is up for debate, but rumors serve me right. It's online somewhere under suicidemouse.avi. If you ever find a copy of the film, I want you to never view it and contact me by phone immediately, regardless of the time. When a Disney death is covered up as well as this, it means it has to be something huge.
Okay.
And it's no surprise, honestly, to me that, like, Disney deaths do go covered up pretty often. Like we were just talking about
yeah.
with Disneyland
yeah.
in general.
It's quite often.
They do not want to tarnish that legacy. They worked very hard to... they worked really hard to craft that legacy.
Mhm.
Yep.
I think so. I mean, that's what Disney does. They pretend like nothing happened, just like Michael Jackson.
Now, after brushing up
Sorry,
on the
should I not say
creepypasta...
that?
I wasn't ready for that.
Sorry, I kind of threw in a wrench there.
But after brushing up on the creepypasta itself,
Mhm.
how plausible do you think it is?
Well, I think that a person that had made it themselves, what do they call themselves? The artist that...
Animator?
Animator, yes, thank you. The animator themselves could have definitely drawn it out, created it, made it.
According to the
All
pasta,
that.
it was made by Walt Disney himself.
I wouldn't be shocked. I really wouldn't be.
One of the commenters I saw on that Cackling Pumpkin video talked about that the concept of suicide was very much like a dark joke, like a very common dark joke back then.
Which is what, suicide?
Yeah.
Oh.
Suicide in general was kind of just seen as like a joke, depending on like the context of it. And I would say even today, like it's still kind of considered a joke. I don't think creepypasta would be anything without suicide.
Yeah.
Suicide is a very common theme in creepypastas.
Yeah.
Which is problematic and many other things, but that aside, like, you know, I think it's still plausible, but the idea that it would still be out there on the internet under suicidemouse.avi is a bit of a stretch. We'll get into some more of those details in a little bit, but just in general, I find that it's plausible. I definitely think it's possible that a video like this was made. But I don't think Walt Disney himself would make something like this, and I definitely don't think that this would, if it's real, was made in the time period that they say it was made.
I think it's a possibility.
And we'll discuss why here in a minute.
Yeah.
You want to take this one?
Most people say it's not real because it's a creepypasta. Because most creepypasta are fake and are written to be God damn it. Creepypasta there are stories that are adapted from genuine urban legends. For example, username 666, so unique, is an internet urban legend. Wait, are they saying they are an urban legend?
No, the concept of username 666
is like
on
a
YouTube
well-known...
is an urban legend, and it's an actual YouTube channel.
I didn't know that. All right, I'm making fun of something I didn't know about.
Let me put it this way.
Yeah.
It's an urban legend that became a creepypasta and then became a YouTube channel.
That goes by 666, that's it?
That's
anonymous
it's a demonic YouTube channel.
All right.
I'd love to read more about it because it as edgy and as edgy and stupid as it sounds, I'm curious what the story is behind it.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
But you can start at the next paragraph.
This is and that part?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, sorry. This is an example of an urban legend that was adapted. Okay, I was right the first time. I over questioning myself. I don't know. Too many creepypastas in one sentence. My mind is fucked up when it comes to reading now. Adapted into a creepypasta, so we shouldn't discredit the legend just because creepypasta was written about it. The legend, whoever wrote this, I'm gonna smack them with a spoon. The legend, just because
spoon is too big.
Exactly. Creepypasta was written about it. The legend came first, and creepypasta came second. The way, will you fucking ASMR? You just like crack it into the microphone.
The main reason it seems at least mildly plausible is the Disney legacy. If it doesn't make sense, they would make something of this nature. Well, that's because you're focusing on what Disney is now rather than what they were. And that makes perfect fucking sense. If you're a fan of the old Disney, like, shorts, like I am, I like them because they're fucked up. Like seeing Goofy...
skeletons coming out of, like, tombstones and whatnot.
Well, you got that, yes.
Are you talking about the 30s?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
30s all the way up to the, like, before Disney became super family friendly.
Okay. So 50s.
But the idea of Goofy freaking out because he needed a cigarette.
Oh yeah, that was
that
weird.
Clip,
that was 60s
that
or
clip
70s.
is fucking gold.
Yeah, that was weird.
He even said the F slur.
F slur?
Fag.
Because
he wanted a cigarette.
Yeah, I know. Back
or a
then,
cigar, or whatever
then,
he could get his hands on.
Yeah, the
he
50s,
wanted a puff.
Yeah.
He was hopelessly addicted
he even said
to tobacco.
Like drugs. He even brought up drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just wanted some kind of a high. He was a hobo.
Yeah.
The original concept of Goofy is that he's a fucking hobo.
True.
And I love that. I think it makes more sense.
It does make
more
sense.
Then, he's just a goofy dog.
Yeah, no, it makes more sense that way.
Alright, this next part is really just for hardcore Disney fans, but if you know even a little bit about Disney's history, you probably know that Mickey Mouse's official debut was in a short called Steamboat Willie, which was first screened in November of 1928.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was trying to be funny in the background. I lost my place. This is me at my job. I lost my place. Where is everyone?
Where are you guys at?
Oh no. Okay, sorry, go on.
But yeah, the first debut of Mickey Mouse was in a short called Steamboat Willie, which was first screened in November of 1928. If you know a little bit more about Disney's history, you probably know that Mickey wasn't even the first anthropomorphic animal mascot created by Walt Disney. That honor belongs to Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. And the thing is, they were eerily similar. They were both mischievous.
How so?
They were kind of like antagonists.
It's just I've never heard of Lucky the Rabbit until you told me.
We could look that up a little bit later. That was not a part of the research for this episode,
Mm-mm.
but
No,
I'm
not at all.
genuinely curious what some of the shorts were.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's just a little shithead.
Okay. Very curious.
SuicideMouse.avi allegedly belongs not to the late 20s era of Mickey Mouse cartoons, but to the one from the late 1930s. Exactly when, though, isn't clear, and I would argue that it's the lack of detail here that causes the story to fall apart a little bit. Somewhere around 1985, Mickey Mouse shorts were released. Oh, that's right, sorry. Somewhere around 18...
What?
Now I'm tripping
Where
over
are
my
we?
words.
What? I
Right
zoned out.
here.
Yes.
Somewhere around 85 Mickey Mouse shorts were released during the 1930s, and over the course of the decade, the style of the animation evolved.
Yes. The typical Mickey Mouse trope that has changed from looking like a diaper to not looking like a diaper.
I love the gloves.
His pants.
That's iconic. The
His
gloves are
make
iconic.
me think of light show artists. Just that little like light fingers, like the end of it.
And now you got me thinking about dubstep videos where they're just waving
Yeah,
their
they're doing
fingers
the whole
around with
thing,
lights
yeah.
and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I actually,
That's-
you know what? You say it's cringe.
It's
I
called-
like it.
No, don't tell anybody listening that I think it's cringe. I just think it was cringy for me to try to be. I have great finger dexterity. I've learned a few things, but it's just not my thing. I'm more of a metalhead. I'm more
Okay, hear me
trying
out.
to be. I love EDM, but I'm picky about the EDM. I love Rez.
Hear me
but-
out. I think, you dress up as Suicide Mouse, and you do the finger light show
Yeah,
to
that's gonna
Dead Mouse.
fuck someone's
To
day
Dead
up.
Mouse.
That's gonna fuck someone's
To
day
Dead
up.
Mouse, though.
Yeah, and what? We're gonna go to an EDM concert, and those people are gonna be on acid and Molly, and you're gonna fuck their day up. I
I'm
am not
saying
an
do that.
asshole.
Don't do that.
No, I
Just
wanna do
upload
that,
it to YouTube
actually.
and forget about it.
No, I want to do that to them.
Okay, now it's even better. I like it a little bit
I am
more.
not trying to gaslight. I'm just
The
kidding.
second it
It
became
just sounds funny.
the second it became an like a traumatic experience for somebody else, I became a fan of it immediately.
Who's worse, me or you? I think for a minute there, I'm like, that actually might be funny. Some EDM people might enjoy that while
Something
they're tripping.
tells me that you would actually become kind of like a character. You know what I mean? If you did that regularly at like local EDM shows.
I would love to. Part of me wants to do the furry stuff.
I mean, dubstep is still pretty lively around here.
I still would. I miss shuffling. I'm gonna admit it.
Okay,
Part
that's
of
it.
me
We're
is-
doing it. We're doing it. It's decided.
I don't know.
VictimMatrixPodcast@gmail.com. If you see Suicide Mouse
I'm
dancing and
I'm
doing
gonna make
finger
a new,
lights,
I'm gonna make a helmet. I'm gonna learn how furries do it. I'm gonna make a
just
dead mouse helmet. They call it kind of a helmet. It
but
depends.
you got to
on-
do it with all the gore and stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna look like it's what is the word?
Decomposing?
Yeah, that's what I think of that. Decomposing. Why am I the one that's always burping? I'm the
Sometimes
Rick of the group.
I burp sometimes.
Oh no, I'm the Rick of this whole
No,
thing.
but for real, if we do this, just
I
don't
feel
out,
bad though.
just don't
I
out Raven
joke.
that it's them.
I
Just
joke.
don't do that.
I joke though. I find it fun to think about, but I don't want to fuck with anybody on their trip. I would be so mad if someone fucked with me tripping out.
I get it.
I don't actually mean I don't want to trip anybody out. That might traumatize them.
Hence,
Just
do it
dead
for YouTube.
Mickey. Yeah, YouTube.
Just
might
do it
work.
for YouTube. That's
Yeah,
all.
and just call it Dead Mickey giving you a trip sit. Why not?
The worst trip sitter ever.
Mhm.
There you go.
Suicide Mickey being all like, death is the only way of escape.
Oh my god.
And
Like
then he
that
starts
one
putting
video
on
we
light
watched.
shows for you. It's called
Have
flow
you ever
art.
considered the fact that if you just gave up on happiness, if you didn't have happiness, you wouldn't have to suffer so much?
And then he's just like, do you like EDM? So
Do
it's
you
putting
like
on light flow
EDM?
art.
Well, that's equal to happiness. You were happy about that music.
Did you take those 2 tabs yet? Yeah.
How many tabs have you had? Take a couple more. I'm really about to take you on a trip, buddy.
I can see that.
I've done Mickey Mouse so much for my son, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. If Mickey Mouse talked to me like that, and with the financial issues in America or any country,
Corporate America.
you know what? In corporate America, I would be like, give me a minute, Mickey. I'm gonna send an email to my supervisor. Let him know I'm not gonna be in tomorrow or 2 days from now. We're gonna trip out for four tabs tonight. Fuck it. Never done acid. Gonna start now.
Here's what you do. You send an email to your boss from your work email saying
Mickey Mouse is making me trip balls.
No, not even that.
I can't come to work today.
Not even that. You say the sites of hell bring its viewers back in. Closed. Done.
And then that supervisor is going to write to the other supervisor, and they're going to be like, why didn't we hire the only alternative person? Did you not see what they looked like? Why did you hire them?
I just thought, inclusivity and stuff. Equality.
I don't want to give them a reason to exclude me.
We got to fill that quota.
I don't want to give them a reason to be like, we were right. We were right. The alternative goth person can't do their job. They're all lazy. I don't want to give them a reason. I can't do acid anytime soon. I got to be there at least a year.
Hey, acid was a good experience for me. I came out of it really having a deep appreciation for the balance of this world. I'm just saying.
I'm willing to try it.
Just don't do 5 tabs like I did.
Wow, in one night?
No, it wasn't in one night. It was spread out throughout a week. But
with the wrong person. Sorry.
Damn, shots
Judgments.
fired.
No, I've done salvia with the wrong person, so I can't judge you.
Exactly.
Salvia,
Shut the fuck up.
Salvia isn't as bad as acid, though. It's close.
I think salvia is worse, especially
You
the
do?
level of salvia you took.
Yeah, level 6. This is my first time.
Oh yeah, let's just take level 6.
I was talked into it. They were like, who needs level 1? Try level 6. And I was like, do you know about what I'm doing right now? And the person I was with was like, just trust me. Level 6. Go to I'm going to be a trip sitter. And I trusted them. Everything was fine.
I mean, you're alive to
I'm
tell the
still here.
tale, so...
So we say. This might be a simulation. I might be in a coma still.
Oh my god, you might be living out your salvia dream still, and you're
probably
gonna
am.
wake up soon.
I probably am. I don't want to think about it.
Oh god damn it.
Yeah, I don't
Okay,
wanna
moving
think
on,
about it.
moving on. Since these shorts were shown before live action films, and sometimes even films aimed at older audiences, the nature of these shorts were aimed towards adults, which is why many of these shorts were notorious for using sexual content, cigarettes and cigars, alcohol, realistic guns, or even fired at other characters, and in some cases, death.
Woo! Party!
Woo!
Woo! Sounds fun.
But would they go as far as to have a character in hell for the basis of a short?
Yeah. I was
You're
like
just
yawn
yeah.
about this.
You're just like, yeah.
Yeah, why not? It's what they do.
Well, in a 1935 short, 1935, keep that in mind.
Exactly, 1935.
Pluto's Judgment Day. Mickey scolds Pluto for having him Mickey scolds Pluto, calling him a bully, saying that he'll pay for it in his Judgment Day because he was fucking with cats.
Oh, of course Mickey was a Christian. What else is new? He's probably a Yahtzee, too. What a fucking shocker. Fuck you, Mickey. Suck my dick.
No, if anything,
Yeah.
Mickey is a black man. If anything,
What?
Mickey, if anything.
Are you gonna tell me he's an Uncle Ruckus?
He's an Uncle Ruckus.
No.
Think about it. His body's black.
No.
His face is white. His gloves are white.
Sounds like
His
I don't
pants
wanna
are white.
say it. Come on.
I'm just saying.
Come on.
VictimMatrixPodcast
He is
@gmail.com
not
if you
an
think
Uncle
that comment was
Ruckus.
racist.
Ooh, in the 1930s, yeah, it sounds like certain face, but I'm not gonna say it because I don't like that
No,
shit. It pisses
I'd
me
say
off.
it's not blackface. I think it's whiteface.
You just said it.
I think it's whiteface, not blackface.
Whiteface?
Whiteface.
He has
A
a white
black
face?
man with white makeup.
And just silence for a
Huh?
second. I think that's his hair. I think that's his fur. He's not wearing makeup. That's a white male with black
You
hair.
want to tell me I can't do whiteface? I just sold a video over to China of a black man in a cat suit. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Ha ha ha!
Because you're a Yahtzee, Mickey.
Okay,
That makes it
seriously?
even worse.
Seriously though,
So he's
the
Uncle
concept
Ruckus.
of black Nazis is baffling. I wanna watch a documentary or at least read some sort of a peer-reviewed study on the concept of POCs,
What is
In-
a POC?
people of color.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
People of
I'm
color
slow
who have
today.
been indoctrinated into Nazi ideology. Because it does happen.
I know. My best friend, I won't say her name
No,
on
no,
the
no,
podcast.
no worries. No
but
worries.
she made commentary about her people that was really concerning to me. Like, just walking on the same block, she'd be like, we have to cross the street. And I'm like, why? Well, I don't like my people. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
To be fair, I mean,
Like,
trauma is different
I get
for,
it, and that's
for
what I was
everyone,
about to say.
especially women of color.
Of
Women
course.
of color have a very different and
course.
like very different struggle than most else.
That's what I was about to say, where
Yeah.
it's like, okay, on one hand, okay, what happened? On another hand, it's like, all right. I mean, I hate my, I hate Caucasians. I hate all people. I hate kids.
I've been a
I'm
self-hating
only
white.
kidding. I hate my people.
I've been a self-hating white bitch for as long as I could remember.
I just hate humans. I'm a humanist. I don't single out anyone. If you're a good soul, I like you. That was a joke between me and my friend back in high school. She called me a humanist. And I was like, wait a minute, what? And she's like, you hate all humans. And I'm like, all right. She's like, but I hate my people. I'm like, God damn it, dude! But you're a humanist. And I'm like, this is bad.
No.
Stop.
Here's the thing: humanists are really big on equality, like really big on inclusivity, and really like, oh man, look into humanism,
Yeah.
and you might actually appreciate it.
I didn't know that was an actual thing.
But
Maybe
in-
I looked it up at one point.
But I get where they were going with it because they were saying, "Oh, you're just an equal opportunist. You're an equal opportunist." My stepdad used to say this all the time. I don't hate black people, white people, Puerto Rican people. He was Puerto Rican.
Yeah, I
I
know.
hate everybody equally.
Well, now I don't want to be compared to that piece of shit. But all right.
His way of going about it was a little different.
Oh,
But
okay.
on
I was
some
just making
level,
jokes
though,
about being humanist. I think I'm an alien.
on some level, though, I do kind of fuck with that ideology.
Of course.
I hate most people. But as I was saying about Pluto's Judgment Day,
Oh, this whole Mickey thing made us talk about political views. Okay.
I mean,
This is why I
only
hate
a little
Disney.
bit.
This is why I hate
Only a
Disney.
little bit.
No, this is why I hate Disney.
But
Fuck Disney.
But basically, Pluto fucks with cats. He falls asleep, and in his dream,
But was he trying to kill cats?
yes,
Oh.
he traumatized cats like
Oh,
deeply.
well, shit.
One of them
Not
was
all
actually
dogs do
he actually
that.
killed a cat. One of them was so mentally unstable they had to be strapped down to a chair.
I remember you
like,
showing me that.
It's part like he goes on trial in hell, a trial of cats. He
Yeah.
didn't have no jury of
This
peers.
makes me think of not YouTube. What was it? The Don't Fuck with Cats.
Oh yes, except
It
for
makes me
Luca
think of that.
Magnotta as Pluto.
Yeah.
But at least Pluto never committed necrophilia.
Yeah, exactly. So
To the best of my knowledge, Pluto
might
was
have.
not a necrophile.
he might have fucked Mickey. After
But-
Mickey yelled at him, he might have fucked Mickey when he's dead. That's where this video actually ends. Pluto fucks Mickey's dead body in the ass to get even. Like,
But
you
that
put me in
implies-
hell.
But that implies Mickey's dead.
Mhm.
After his suicide. Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
After Mickey
shit.
After Mickey committed suicide, Pluto shows up, and no one ever shows us that. No one ever made a video. Pluto shows up behind Mickey's butthole and says, "Fuck you for telling me that I fucked with cats. You put me in hell," and he just pulls his pants out and fucks the shit out of him. I support dogs all the way and cats. That dog deserve to do whatever you
I'm
want
about
to
to
Mickey.
red rocket all over this dumb mouse.
Exactly.
Oh my god, that's. You know what the sad part is? As gross as that is,
It's disgusting.
it sounds like something that people would turn into a creepypasta.
They should have.
If this isn't
They
already.
should have ended it like that. They should have, and they will now. If anybody listens.
He just falls out. He just falls in the middle of the street. The syringe pops out. You know, just like that
That was
one
the other thing with the one
creepypasta.
video that no one pointed out. Well, we haven't pointed out yet. We thought it was a knife at first. It's a syringe. It's a
I don't know
fucking syringe
exactly
in the one
which.
video.
What
What the fuck was he doing? Heroin? Is that gonna kill you right
He
away?
died by lethal injection.
Excuse me.
well, to be
he
fair-
did that to himself?
To be fair, the way every remake plays out, that last sequence when he finally starts to really go crazy and the backgrounds go crazy.
Yeah.
Sounds
like an acid trip and then lethal injection.
But because the needle pops out for that one video,
yeah.
it makes me think heroin.
But why would you die that quickly from heroin?
Overdose.
Oh, good point.
Overdose.
Good point. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about heroin. I've only seen people like that in Vegas.
Woo!
Don't go to Vegas.
Woo!
Well, unless you're vacationing, then do it. But don't go off the strip. Do not go off the strip. Just don't. You don't want to see heroin addicts. It's scary. It's like walking into The Walking Dead. Don't do it. Don't go off the strip. Please, I beg of you.
Hey, at least Pluto's journey to hell has a happy ending.
Does it?
Yes, it does. He wakes up realizing it was all a dream and atones for his mistakes.
Oh.
So he no longer fucks with cats.
Good for him.
Netflix doesn't need to make a documentary about Pluto.
Oh, okay. It was just a bad dream. He didn't mean to go on instincts of like, well, this cat messed with me once. I have trauma, so I'm gonna mess with all cats. Right?
No, I think that speaks to just like the age-old
Dogs, chase cats. Cats chase.
Yeah,
mice.
they're like mortal enemies in a sense. But the short.
But if you think about it, why wasn't the cat chasing Mickey? Cats chase mice, dogs chase cats.
Which explains why Mickey would have a dog.
Yes, but why would Mickey give Pluto shit for protecting Mickey when the cat chases the mouse?
Pluto's
It's a
whole
it's
reason
a fucking
for chasing...
triangle. It's a fucking triangle. Fucking Pluto's protecting Mickey. And Pluto's like, what the fuck, bro? I was protecting you. You're my owner and you're a mouse and the
But
cat
Pluto
hates
can't
mice.
talk.
Exactly.
Pluto can't talk.
Yep, so that's not fair to Pluto. I'm all the way pro dog. I love my cat to death, but pro dog. Like, this dog didn't do anything wrong. It's protecting the mouse owner. It didn't do anything wrong. It did what it was taught. Right?
Just the same way.
It's a pyramid
the same way
scheme.
that
Think about
cats are owned to keep mice out of the house. The same way.
Dogs.
The same way dogs are kept around to keep stray cats out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the
Unless
same
it
shit.
was, grew up with the cat and then they love and they care for and love each
this
other.
is a Tom and Jerry skit.
Right.
This is a whole ass Tom and Jerry
Right.
skit.
That's all I could think of is like, wait a minute, Mickey is a mouse though. Pluto's protecting him. That's not fair. Poor Pluto.
Poor Pluto.
I don't
Pluto's a
know.
good boy.
He was just trying to help. He was just protecting his owner. That's not fair.
Oh man.
That's bullshit.
But okay, if this short does exist though, if Suicide Mouse does exist, why would Mickey be sent to hell in the first place?
Mickey?
Why would Mickey be sent to hell in the first
Because
place?
he's a Yahtzee.
Because here's the thing. We understand why Pluto was sent to hell.
Mhm.
That was to, be confronted with his crimes against cats. Very Luca Magnotta style.
Yeah.
Except, less grotesque.
Well, it depends on how you view Mickey. Mickey was created. If you want to view it like God created whatever, Mickey was created by the Walt
Overlord.
Disney. The overlord being Walt Disney. Walt Disney was a Yahtzee,
Mm-hmm.
so he created Mickey. Mickey is technically a Yahtzee, so he went to hell.
By proxy, he
By
is also a
proxy.
Nazi.
But then again, what is hell? What is heaven? None of it exists, so what the fuck? This is why this fucking creepypasta is stupid to me. Why is hell seen as so bad? Heaven isn't.
Because
Heaven is all
torment,
about
fire,
controlling.
brimstone?
No, if you think about it, in the Bible, Don't they say that heaven's all about like controlling their people, their
Yeah.
angels? But then hell is like, no, we're all individuals.
Well,
We're
here's the
all...
thing. Heaven is supposed to be an afterlife of paradise for
Mhm.
those who have, served God and
Yep,
really,
yep.
really,
Yeah, but they have to serve God.
exactly.
If
If you're not
heaven and hell
blindly
exist,
obedient and all that shit.
You have to be obedient, but in hell, you're independent, right?
No.
You just do your own
You're just
thing.
getting the shit kicked out of you for your
Only if
crimes.
you did something fucked up.
Why else would you be in hell?
Hey, I'm also going off of Has-Been Hotel, okay? Anybody that is listening that's a fan of Has-Been Hotel, you're totally going to understand what I'm talking about.
But I also believe that there's kind of a bit of a gray area. There's
Yeah.
like a huge gray area that doesn't get talked about in the Bible, which
Mhm.
I think it's
I
like
don't
limbo.
remember any of that shit.
I think limbo would be that gray area.
Beetlejuice? They had a weird, like, limbo.
Limbo would just be, okay, you just kind of exist,
Mhm.
right, in the afterlife. But
Spirits
heaven
just,
is for people
you know.
who really served God. Like, really, really served God.
Mhm.
Mormons.
Mhm.
Protestants.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
then you got anybody else.
Yep.
They go to hell.
Mhm.
Anyone who isn't blindly obedient to hell. Blindly obedient to hell. Which brings me
What?
to my greater point.
Mhm.
If Satan punishes bad people, isn't he good?
Well, who's Satan?
Anybody that opposes
Just like
The
who's
church.
God?
Satan, literally the definition of Satan is the opposer.
Ah, okay. I can't help but question the whole heaven and hell
Hence
thing.
why I am a Satanist.
And I'm a Luciferian. That's why I'm questioning the whole God and Satanism or Satan thing.
Exactly.
Or heaven and hell. I agree with Satanism, but being a Luciferian, I'm like, what is a God? What is Satan? What is heaven and what is hell?
Technically, Lucifer was an archangel
Exactly.
who
But-
fell from grace.
But every Luciferian views it differently.
Yeah, I would say the same is true about
Yeah.
Satanism and
Exactly.
Christianity.
Every Satanist views things differently. Just like paganism. They all view
Everybody
things
does things differently. We're all individual
Regardless,
motherfuckers.
Mickey's a Yahtzee. That's all I was trying to make a point out.
Which brings me to
That's
my
why
next
he's going
point.
to hell.
Which brings me to my next
If
point.
hell exists and it's a bad place.
He
What?
wasn't always such a kind-hearted and caring soul.
Exactly. You probably are Mickey. That's why she's pregnant. Sorry.
You mean Minnie?
Is that dark? Minnie?
He did R Minnie. Technically,
What?
he did R Minnie.
What?
In Crazy Plane.
What the
Or
fuck
Plane
is...
Crazy, sorry.
What the fuck is that?
Okay, so here's the thing. He was actually disliked by viewers and said his personality was dislikable and too similar to other characters at the time, like,
In the
1930s.
Yeah.
He was more mischievous and even perverted, like in the short Plane Crazy, where Mickey takes Minnie for a plane ride. While in air, he tries to force Minnie to kiss him, and he gets smacked for it.
Would that be considered R?
I would say that's considered non-consent.
It is non-consent, but I'm saying, I thought you said
I'm
he
just
R'd
saying.
her.
I'm just saying.
So I was a little confused. I'm like, well,
I'm
he's
just saying. While it might not be
non-consensual.
canon,
Yeah.
that
I
Mickey
could see that then, yeah.
R'd
Mickey's a
Minnie.
piece of shit. Yeah.
I'm just saying the existence of this short kind of implies that
That he
consent
did it at some point.
doesn't mean that much to Mickey Mouse.
Of course.
Or at least during this time period.
Of course not, yeah. It was a problem back then.
But there's one more thing I'd like to go over. This isn't the only urban legend that revolves around Mickey and a lost black and white short. The Mickey and Minnie sex tape.
Mm. Really?
This is amazing. I'm just glad that this fucking even is an urban legend to begin with.
Is it real or an urban legend?
It's an urban legend.
Really?
Well, there's no way to know for sure. Unless the people...
I mean, Walt Disney fired
unless
the
the two animators
It's
that
just
came
fucked
up with
up.
it actually came forward and were
Why
like,
would they think that was a good
"Oh,
idea?
Oh yeah, we did the Mickey and Minnie sex tape. We thought it'd be funny as fuck.
Yeah, why would they tattle on themselves?
why not?
I wouldn't have.
I'd
I would have been
remake it.
like, oh, I'm...
If I got... Okay. The story goes that two animators working for Disney decide to make a cartoon about Mickey and Minnie having sex as a gift to Walt Disney on his 31st birthday, or 34th birthday. already a very weird idea for a gift, but thinking
Yeah.
back to the 30s, this really isn't that surprising.
Yeah, it's
Um,
not.
You know, just the humor around that
But who
time
wants
period.
to see a naked Mickey and Minnie? Gross. I
You'd be surprised.
There's a part of me
Rule
that
34.
there's a part of me that's curious of what they drew, and then there's a part of me that's like, I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it. But how much did you show with what kind of sex they did? Like, how bad was it? Where Walt Disney was like, "You're fired" when he's a Yahtzee.
Well, that's the thing. Apparently,
know,
he
like-
laughed with everyone else and then asks who made the short.
Yeah.
To which he promptly fires the two of them on the spot and then immediately demands that the short was
Wow.
destroyed.
Wow.
Which makes sense. Walt Disney doesn't want that shit getting out. But at the same time, like, okay, you laughed at it.
Yeah.
And then you fucking fired the guys that made it?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I know, it's kind of weird.
You thought it was
I
funny and then you
laughed at
said,
Mhm.
you're fired.
Mhm.
That's very Trump-esque. Just saying.
It's any manager nowadays, and or president. I agree with you. Yep.
Rule 34, BB.
Mhm.
SuicideMouse.avi is clearly meant to be a departure in the style from every other Mickey cartoon out there. However, it stands to reason that if it were real, it would bear at least some resemblance to the era in which it was supposedly made. Visually, though, it has more in common with the very early Mickey shorts, the ones from the 20s, which suggests that if it was really meant to be from the 30s, as the story notes, then it would have been within the first year or so of that decade. Maybe not, though. The lack of detail takes away somewhat of the story's believability here.
Mm.
Also worth noting, nothing is in fact... Also worth noting is the fact that Ub Iwerks left Walt Disney Animation Studios early in 1930. The last Mickey short he worked on was The Barnyard Concert, which was released March 3rd of that year. If I had written the story, and I know I didn't, so ultimately it doesn't matter what I would have done, but bear with me here, this would have been the perfect fact to exploit in order to lend just a tiny bit more credence to the tale. I mean, just the fact that, like, okay, you have this guy that's worked with Disney for a while, and due to
Contractions.
contractual
Were they having a baby?
obligations, there were issues with their contract at the time, and so they part ways. What a better way to say fuck you than making the character you love dearly your main character for Disney, your mascot, commit suicide for a short.
Yeah.
Personally, I think that's a great fuck you.
I mean, I feel like that makes sense. I don't know.
Moving on, at least there's this. Although the Leonard Maltin that appears in the story is a fictionalized version of a real guy, there's a grain of truth in SuicideMouse.avi's premise. Maltin did put together a whole series of DVDs featuring classic Disney material, and it did unearth a ton of stuff most of us wouldn't necessarily have seen before. Called Disney Treasures, the DVD series covered 9 different waves and was released over a period of 8 years between December of 2001 and November of 2009. I believe that the story would have been stronger if those details were included. So, if Suicide Mouse was real, it may have been scrapped, lost, or repurposed like elements were for Pluto's Judgment Day. I think it stands to reason that if it were real, it would have been repurposed. I really think some of that footage might have just ended up being repurposed, depending on exactly how dark it got. But I don't think they were making them as dark as the ones we see on YouTube today. The YouTube ones are just meant to be as dark as possible, gritty, and truly terrifying.
Exactly. I agree. But I also can't help but think that the original one that you've shown me might be the original, because that makes more sense if it is real.
If it were
It's
real,
very messy and like, oh, we did it quickly just to make a joke.
like very rushed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The very first one with the creepy piano and all that.
Yeah.
That one actually has an eerie sound to it, but not visuals. I mean, none of them have creepy visuals to me.
All of them
but
are like laughably.
It's just like, it's not even close to Meat Canyon. Meat Canyon, for example, that SpongeBob one you showed me, taught me that I have a fear of holes, like a bunch of little holes.
I think
Where
the
they're pulling
word for
shit out of
that
his body and they're eating him.
is,
That shit fucked me up. I'm like, I don't like this shit. I know it's a cartoon, but now I realize I don't like holes and a bunch of clusters and.
The word for it is actually, it's like on the
There's
tip
a
of my
word for
tongue.
I can't remember.
But regardless.
Hey Siri, fear of holes. What is that?
That's the fear or intense dislike of holes, especially small, repeating patterns or clusters of holes.
That was not helpful.
This is from medicinenet.com.
That was not helpful. That was not helpful, Siri. Did I not do you well? Did I not?
You gotta ask her what the word for
Oh, my
fear of
bad.
holes is.
Siri, what is the word for fear of holes?
Say, hey Siri.
Oh, god damn it. Hey Siri, what is the fear of holes?
Here's the plot synopsis.
The holes? That is a movie, you dumb bitch! I don't use my Siri that often. Fuck this bitch. It might know your voice more than mine.
I
Hold
doubt
on.
it. Hey
Alright.
Siri. Hey Siri. It doesn't
Alright.
like me.
Hey Siri, what is the fear of holes?
Here's some information.
Tryptophobia.
Tryptophobia.
God damn it.
But
Okay.
do I have trypophobia?
Trypophobia?
Do I have that? Shut up, Siri. Fuck out of here. I'm done. It's still doing its thing. Alright. Fucking AI.
But here's the thing.
Anyway.
I feel like you're ascribing a modern lens to a 1930s concept. What was truly
tryptophobia?
terrifying in the 30s, almost 100 years ago at this point, something we gotta really keep in mind. What was terrifying to them, vastly different than what's terrifying
That
to
is
us
true.
now.
Yeah.
The Christian ideology was very strong in these people, and so it really isn't that strange to think that a security guard saw a bit of this footage
Yeah.
and offed himself.
Really?
To me, it's not that crazy to think.
Really?
That
the
part.
security guard killed themselves over seeing this video. But what is the original? Just the way they explain it? Just Mickey
depends.
walking?
I think for me, it
It's just
depends
so
on
silly.
two factors. What did he see and what did he hear?
Okay. It's still, I don't know, doesn't make sense.
Still
The
plausible,
story-
but definitely nothing definitive has come out.
The story isn't as believable as other ones, but if this one were to be real, I really think it was just an artist fucking around thinking Walt Disney would find it funny. Because they, there's proof that
Like Ubi works.
they made Mickey and Minnie fuck, so I wouldn't be surprised if they killed
If there were
Mickey.
two animators that were willing to make something like that, and again, that's another urban legend.
Mhm.
If it's true, if both are true, then it was just another animator who just thought it was funny.
Exactly.
Because suicide was funny back then. I hold strong that, like, okay, the type of humor they had in a lot of the shorts back then, it's not that hard to believe. It's
Okay.
really not.
Makes sense.
I just think that there would have been more of a comedic lens to it rather than it just being straight up fucking terrifying.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
But the other detail that, like, just doesn't really compute for me, though, is the colors that were not possible of that time period. That, to me, is a bit sus.
Definitely. It doesn't make any sense.
Which makes me question...
The reality of it.
No.
But, I don't know. I feel like there's more research to be made.
There's always more to be to be said and to be researched about that kind
But
of
there's
thing.
so many creepypastas out there. So many good ones.
Yeah, Speaking of which, victimmatrixpodcast@gmail.com. If there's other creepypastas you want us to talk about in future episodes, please give us an email. We would love to hear what you have to say. But that pretty much wraps up our episode for this week. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel bad that I don't have a lot to say about Mickey. I don't like Disney.
That's fair. Not a lot of people. The thing is, the people who are huge fans are crazy about it.
Exactly. I've met a lot of people that are fucking crazy about Disney, and I don't get it. The only thing that I find interesting is Epcot, I think it's called, where it's the adult quoting marks area of Disney World or Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever's listening could correct me because I've never been there. I've just heard that they have a location where it's around the world and you can go to Germany or France and have a drink of beer and have some food. It's a place for adults to hang out with their kids are having fun. I like the
sound of that.
Yeah, it's a thing. I just can't remember if it's Disney World or Disneyland. They're two different things that Renee or my friend back then used to correct me on a lot, and I still don't remember. I'm like, they're different. The Disneyland, Disney World is different.
One is land and the other is world.
But what is the difference? I would think it's the same thing.
I imagine Disney World is bigger than Disneyland.
More so what
Walt
Disney did. Yeah, probably. It makes more sense. But anyway, I digress.
Shit.
That's the only thing interesting to me about if it is Disney World. That's the only thing that's interesting is Epcot World, is I believe the name of it, which is where the adults go to play. You're not dealing with a bunch of Disney princesses or kings or whatever. You just go to have a beer in England or Britain or fucking Tokyo. They have all these random little spots. I've seen videos. It's interesting. It's pretty chill. But not as cool as Tokyo. I want to go to Tokyo first. But anyway. But Epcot, I've heard it's cool for adults.
So out of the 3 creepypastas we talked about today, Lavender Town, Squidward Suicide,
Excuse me, I would rather say I think Lavender Town is more torturing sound versus Mickey.
Yeah.
Or Minnie.
An audiophile that just drives kids crazy. That's very plausible.
If I had to pick between listening to Dead Mouse, Suicide Mickey. Now I'm doing it not on purpose. Suicide Mickey versus Lavender Town. I would rather listen to the sounds of Suicide Mickey or Suicide Mouse.
Because the Lavender Town music just freaks you out.
No, it doesn't freak me out. It pisses me off. There's a difference. Lavender Town puts me on edge and makes me angry. Mm-hmm. Versus Suicide Mouse, I actually feel creeped out. I'm like, oh, this is making me uncomfortable. Is there something behind me? But then watching the actual video, I'm like, this is fucking stupid.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like I need to, because I feel like Lavender Town Syndrome is
I believe it.
Is one step in to a pool of other Pokemon-related creepypastas.
How many more?
I mean, I talked about Pokemon Black earlier and a couple of other ones,
more?
but there's a bunch.
Oh,
but
more than 4? Okay.
I want to study up on those because I'm personally curious about those. Just as someone who's semi-casual, semi-serious Pokemon fan. Yeah. I hate Pokemon Go, but I've always been a huge fan of the traditional Nintendo games. Mm-hmm. The newest game, Scarlet and Violet, I think. Mm-hmm. I believe the one I have is Scarlet. Love that game. I love that game.
Violet you have.
Violet? You think so? Okay. It's probably Violet. The one I have, I played that. I loved that game. Mm-hmm. Great story. Great open world concept. I want to see more stuff like that come out from Pokemon and just Nintendo as a whole. Especially Legend of Zelda, Metroid Prime. An open world concept for Metroid Prime? That sounds fucking awesome to me.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
But yeah, any closing things to say before we busy bounce?
I mean, I think that, if anybody listening, I think that more creepypastas down the line would be interesting to talk about.
And anything else.
Yeah.
Everything under the sun.
Well, of course, but I'm just talking about the main topic that we're on is creepypasta.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
So thanks for listening, guys. Victimmatrixpodcast@gmail.com. I know I probably said it 15 times in this one
If it's
episode alone.
nighttime, have a good night. If it's a morning, have a good morning.
Yeah. And
You know.
we'll catch you on the next one.
Mhm.
Bye-bye.
Mhm.